What do I see there? The first comment says about time. What's up, Yuka? Musky Doge, Adrian. What's up, my friend? How are you, man? Yuka, I believe that. I believe that. Derek A, what's up? Dr. McLovin, Street Credit. Yo, yo, yo. John Crossman. SoCal in the house. John, where in SoCal? Kiwi girl, why are you laughing? According to the New Zealand clock, I should be right on time for you, Kiwi girl. Smith, how you doing tonight? Double. Had to watch the Astros win. Yeah, I was just waiting for the Astros to win, then I was going to come on. That's what I was waiting for. Hey, Barry Electronics, how you doing tonight, man? Adrian, I'm good. I'm good. Scavenger, I was trying to reach out to you today. I have no idea how to get a hold of you, but I was earlier searching to try to like an email or something for you, but I couldn't get it. I was going to send you a link to see if you want to jump on and talk a few things. Let me know if you're interested. GFam, good evening tonight. N Cashman, another SoCali in the house. Those are Johnny's old stomping grounds. Mike, what's up, buddy? How are you? 1796 Patriot, you're not late. I'm early. Jake, how you doing, man? Lizzie, good evening. Everything is good. Doge, hope all is well with you and yours too. Thanks, Adrian. It's 419 Kiwi girl. All right. Scavenger on Twitter. Twitter's the best way to reach you. What's up? Do you want to come on tonight and talk a little bit? I had some things I wanted to talk about. I wouldn't mind having another person who's bullish on the AMC come on with me tonight, just for a little bit. Let me know. And I'll send you a link so you can hop on. I can send it right to Twitter for you, Scavenger. Hammer, what's up, man? Jay, I know I'm late, bro. MC, brother, thank you, man. MC, I sent you back a message. Oh, no, you got it. I know. You're always down? All right, well, you want me to send you the stream right now? You can. I wouldn't mind having some open debate. Nothing crazy. Just want to talk about what your thoughts are. I haven't had a guest on in a while besides Tony. So I'm trying to get some other opinions on here, you know. Weston Washington in the house. Awesome, Barry Electronics. Jay sold his cat. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Mass, do you think that Matt's Ducks Superstar says, Mass, do you think Trey will come back to us or do you care? You know, I hate to see someone have their YouTube career ruined over something like that. Honestly, just just for giving up. I hate to see that happen, but he's done very well for himself. If he can't handle all the pressure, which some people can't, and he's got other outlying issues with his health. So I don't hold that against him. MC says, I want to join on. Dude, I would love to have Boss on. No, Scavenger, you just need the link, bro. I'm going to send it to you right now on Twitter. Hang on. I think we're following each other on Twitter. Guys, give me 1 second so I can send this to Scavenger. Hold on, bro. All right, let's see. Let me grab the link. Hold on 1 sec. So I'm back out to grab the link from the studio. So hang on 1 sec, guys. You might lose me for a sec. Scavenger, I need your handle on, if you could put it up in the chat. Shadow Girl says, why Yucca Frida is invisible to me. My internet has a lot of problems also. Man, there really shouldn't be any. I got nothing open right now. I mean, I'm on bare bones. Rachel, good evening. How you doing tonight? Michelle says LSU wins. Whoop, whoop. Oh, we got a big LSU fan, huh? It's just Micah _ Reeser. Okay, Scavenger, hold on. Micah _ Micah _ Reeser. Okay. It says at Micah _ Reeser, this count doesn't exist. Why don't you send me, Scavenger, send me a DM at Massalorian. That way I can just have it. I'll know exactly what to send it to. Just send me a quick DM, bro. Who else we got in the chat? Street Credit says I'm good again. All right. Michelle H. I live in Baton Rouge, so yes, and they beat Alabama. Oh, so you're not into Roll Tide Roll? James says Nick Saban eats Chinese crawfish. Six Sun, how you doing tonight? Mash, are you feeling bullish on XRP? I'm starting to feel more and more bullish on XRP and crypto in general. I think crypto will take a turnaround in the near future. I just don't know how that's going to be, how soon that will be. BC says don't sell anything synthetic, bro. Let me see here. Yes, send me a DM, Scavenger, so I can get you on here, brother. Trevor, good evening. How you doing tonight? This chat feels rigged, says Yucca Fritter. The chat feels rigged. If I only had the time to do that kind of stuff. Just followed. Okay. All right. So I should be able to find you then, right? All right. Let's see here. Followers and followed. Scavenger. There we go. Okay. Follow. And now let me send you a DM. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to put the link right in it, Scavenger, so you should be able to go right to it. Let's see. New message. Scavenger. At Micah Reeser. Man, what is going on here? How come I can't just send you a new message, search people, and I have you down At Micah Reeser. Why is this not letting me do this? Micah. Scavenger, you have an email address? Humble Servant says, as soon as this thing squeezes, I'm running into XRP. Yeah, I'm a fan of XRP. When this thing is going to run or not yet. Just not sure when this thing is going to run or not yet. Yeah, here. I'm going to put my email in the chat, Scavenger, so you can see it. I don't know what's going on Twitter, dude. I can't stand the platform, as you guys know. Massalorian.com. All right, Scavenger. I'll be able to send it right to you, bro. Let's pop up on the screen right my email. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna jump on Mass Live and break the wheel, says Adrian. Someone needs to now on. Sent you my email on Twitter. Oh. I know, Scavenger, but I can't even find. Damn it to me. There it is. I got it now. I got it. All right. Okay. Copy. Let me go. I'll send you the invite. Yeah, man. Sorry. I've been waiting to get on for you for a long time. All right. Compose. Come on, baby. Come on. I'm trying to get this so I can get Scavenger. So you can hop on. You should be good. Andrew says RNVA. Andrew, is RNVA taking a slip? What happened to GTI today, by the way? Did it have a massive bump up right before the end of the day? Alan says ton of T35 due in the next few days on AMC. Yeah, let's see if that makes a difference, right? Right? Let's see if that makes a difference. All right. I closed everything out, guys. So that there should be no lagging error. This should be the best we're gonna get without losing it. San Diego Laundromats, how you doing tonight? I see Jay's 22 Beeb in the chat. Who else do we have here? Matthew, yo, what's up, my friend? How you doing tonight, buddy? What are my thoughts on DWAC? I think that Elon buying Twitter threw a lot of a monkey wrench into DWAC, to be honest with you, Rishi. I hope that's how I pronounce your name. But yeah, just waiting for the link to come through. All right, let me just double check Scavenger and make sure it did get sent. It should. Sent emails. Sent. Yeah, you should have it, bro. You should have it. Looks like it's got sent. Let's see. 39 likes. Come on, people. Let's get up to 169. 69 would be nice. Jay's 22B. I would like that. Richie says, I wonder if DWAC will run after Trump announces. Yeah, it could a little bit, right? That could certainly push it in a direction. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that might be a possibility. Bucks fan says Obama getting heckled this week was awesome. People are finally getting tired of the nonsense. That was a great thing to see. But I'll tell you what, Bucks fan, the thing that bothered me the most tonight or the last couple of weeks was Ilhan Omar. And I was working on that video all day today. I didn't get it out. But, I talked last week about the politicians and having to make moves in Congress. And when I saw Ilhan Omar lose her temper and explain to her constituents during a town hall meeting that they don't get to tell her how to feel about her votes or how she should be voting when it comes to Ukraine, that is just ludicrous. No, that's your only job, is to listen to your constituents. That's why we put you in office, is so if we tell you we don't want war, you vote no the next time a resolution comes past. But they don't get that. Shadow Girl, how you doing tonight? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Hope you're doing well. Geo68, how you doing tonight, girl? Says depends who the 69 lands on, Mass. It might not be too good. This is true. Jennifer, what's going on yet? What's going on, girl? How you doing tonight? I haven't got link on my email yet, Scavenger. Okay, hang on. Compose. I'm going to type in your email address. Yeah, this should be it. Subject link. Paste. Send. Now I can view the message. Yeah, it's definitely been sent. Scavenger. Shad DiGiorgio. D. Georges. Yo from the Los. How you doing, my friend, tonight? Coded Red said loaded up and on DWAC and Ape. Yeah, they both could take a run, right? 100%. People, how come Massalorian only have Prometheus? I don't know. That's a good question. Only how what? Singster, how you doing tonight, man? Maggie Acorn. Good evening tonight, darling. How you doing? Yeah, I put up 3 different notifications today. You didn't get any of them. So ridiculous. James Harris, how you doing tonight? She represents us. I think they are our leaders. They are not. She represents us. Bob Gogan says, Bob, how you doing tonight? Make sure the spelling is right, Scavenger. Just make sure. Oh, I think I just heard you pop in the studio. This has got to be you. But I got no camera, just so you know, Scab. There we go. Scab, just give me a thumbs up if you're good. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Boom.
All right, what's going on? Sorry about that whole debacle. I ended up finding it. It was in my spam folder. So if I'm a little noisy or whatever, let me know. I know sometimes my
Can you just do me a favor and turn down the volume just a hair, like maybe a quarter?
Absolutely. Let me know when it's good. It's a real touchy mic.
That sounds pretty good, brother. That sounds good.
Is that good right there? All right.
Yeah,
I
you
get a
sound
little
good.
excited
Yep,
too when I talk, so sometimes like I'm actually talking loud. So
Are you having a Bruno right now? A brewski?
I am. It's actually kind of funny how it worked out. So I was laying in bed playing the new Modern Warfare 2 and then joined your stream. Actually, I just closed out Modern Warfare and joined your stream. And you're like, hey, you want to join? So I hurried up, got dressed real quick. I'm like, heck yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, bro. Honestly,
excited.
I was honestly gonna try to reach out to you earlier. I can a way to get in touch with you between email or Twitter. I thought apparently we weren't. So, but you were the first person that came to mind because you're like one of the only people I haven't had on. Oh, you are?
It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure definitely to be here. I watch you and Tony go live all the time. So, but yeah, as far as like Twitter and emails go and stuff, I'm pretty, I work and stuff during the day. So I'm pretty busy from my day to day, but I'm definitely excited that we could finally link up and definitely have the privilege to be on your channel. So I know you've been grinding it out, putting out the videos and stuff. So definitely appreciate that for the, speaking for the entire community because, a lot of people are in those times where they need to see other people that are involved in this with them, right? Not, we're not, I try to look at YouTube like, obviously we don't want people to make decisions off of what we think, but I feel like sometimes you kind of get into a mindset, some people specifically, where you need to know other people are part of this with you. And I think it's important for people to know that, we're not leaving them, right?
In the good times and the bad times, right, Scott?
Exactly.
How do you want me to address you, by the way? Just during
you can either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, my name's Micah, my real name, but you can call me Scav, Scavenger, Scavvy, whatever. Doesn't matter. However you want to address me.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna sneak off camera so I don't have to be in this, and just I'm just gonna put you as the main. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you.
I'd
have to fix these mics all up.
Yeah, I
always leave you on there.
Nervous at first, even when I go live and stuff, like on my channel, like it's it's really nerve wracking when you first go live, and like right now you have like 150 people in here, so it's like wow, there's 150 people that I'm talking to right now, so it's like I'll warm up though as we go through, but it's always interesting.
You'll be fine, bro. You'll be fine. I've seen you let loose on your phone doing your interview and doing your video. So I have no doubt that you'll be able to carry conversation tonight, or else I wouldn't have had you on, honestly.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Yeah, no problem. And let me just say this, and I usually go through a thing where I try to vet out people before I have them on. But I'm going to take my gut instinct with this, watching Scavenger for the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks. And from my impression of him, he seems to be on board with the rest of us, mostly that are, still in this play. We believe in this squeeze still happening. We believe that the fundamentals of the company are eventually going to come around to get better, that they are still going to be the top dog in the cinema world. And compared to something like Gtii or Finger or something like that, or Mullen that actually has nothing to show for those companies, where with no fundamentals, with no help of anything coming down the line, at least for the next 2 years, still, in my opinion, this is the best chance I have right now of striking it rich with a stock. No matter how long this takes, if it takes till the end of next summer and Q1 and Q2 earnings, so be it. I just haven't. I'm not giving in that easily. And why the hell would I sell at these fucking low prices anyways, when I had a chance to get out at 72? Remember, I've been in this place since February of 2021. So this is not my first rodeo with a stock, and especially not holding on to something for a long time, waiting for something good to happen. And we just don't know what it is. We could get an announcement next week from Adam Aaron that's going to blow all our minds. And who knows, something that can come out of that could cause a parabolic rise in the stock. And here we are short squeezing, right before Thanksgiving. So you just never know, And until we do know, then I say that all of us need to just get in and finish the game. That's it. That's my philosophy
Yeah,
on it.
I mean, I totally agree. And um, if I interrupt you or anything during, just put me in my place because like I said, I'm new to this kind of podcast stuff, but I totally agree with everything you just said. And I see a lot of questions kind of rolling in the comments about other stocks, right? We have the GTIs and as good as I do, Massalorian. I bought in that January and some in December. So my dollar cost average on AMC has obviously gone up because I've continued buying, but I bought substantially low. And obviously, with it being so low, I was able to accumulate a lot of shares at the start, right? And I never sold any. I've just been accumulating since. So, um, you know, but it just as well as I do that this big YouTube scam of pushing people into other stocks. And I personally am going to call it a scam. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I always try to explain to people I'm not deterring people from going out and making other money, elsewhere in different stocks. But we seen it like one of the biggest stocks I seen, get pushed, right? Because that was also going to be a short squeeze back then was Rocket Mortgage. That was another one that's kind of like the GTI now, right? That was like everything on Twitter, everybody was talking, the bots and stuff came out talking about, oh yeah, it's time to sell AMC, get into Rocket Mortgage. There's a self-reported short interest of 400%. And it's like I always try to remind people like this is all self-reported data. They can come out and
Yeah.
self-report, why, like this is what I try to explain to people all the time. If they're able to, because in my opinion, and you call me a tinfoil hat or whatever you'd like, but AMC's been at 100% utilization, that's facts, and they've been able to make the short interest appear at 19 to 25%, let's just say for the last year, right? They've been able to keep the data down, stating that AMC is at 20% short interest. So if they're able to do that, why in these other stocks wouldn't they do that? Why would they report a 400% short interest, right? It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
simple. It's to get retail investors to jump into that play. They've already accumulated their shares. You're going to jump in, and not saying there's not money to be made because you can, but when you've created a hedge fund, right, which is retail investors, when you've created a hedge fund and trained yourself to be a diamond handed ape, what are you going to do? You're going to ride it up and you're going to hold, and then they're going to rug pull you. And that's why I always try to explain to people that AMC and GameStop are two completely different animals because these are the only two plays that we were able to catch Wall Street off guard. We
Right.
locked the float down and they weren't able to exit their positions. These other companies, they have a big enough institutional ownership. They can exit their position. They can do their manipulation, but there's a reason why AMC is not having run-ups. It's because it's being fully controlled right now. You know, I think there's enough proof out there that there's manipulation taking place in AMC. I mean, it just comes down to facts. You don't have a 100% utilized stock and they're able to ladder it down like they did on Friday, right? They're going to blame it on the rest of the market pulling it down. But at the end of the day, yeah, on Friday they can use that news, but the reality is this shit happens every other week. and where are these shares coming from? Where are these shares coming from to sell? Because remember, in order to sell a share, there has to be a buyer. So my question is, and it's not really a question anymore because we all know how this ends.
I love that statement. I love that statement, by the way. If you go to
Thank
sell
you.
a stock, there's someone on the other side that's willing
Right,
to buy it. Don't forget
right.
that.
And I think a lot of people believe like when you sell a stock, it just goes into this pool and it's like, oh, I sold my stock. Now it's in, this big pool of just floating stock. No, like somebody has to be on the other end to buy that from you. Like I trade option. It's options, not with AMC, but I day trade too. I scalp. And it's the same with
Yep.
options. In order to get out of your options, they have to buy someone has to be buying your options on the other side, right? They don't just poof vanish into the air after you sell a stock or option, right? They're like they have to go somewhere. So I think a lot of people don't realize that, right? So when they ladder attack AMC down,
Yep.
you know, and it's just straight down selling pressure, who's buying those shares and why aren't those bought shares affecting the price? Pretty simple because it's all algorithmic trading at this point, just boom, 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 doing what it wants to do, right? I mean, you know, there's a reason AMC and GameStop, you could put their charts on top of each other. Every movement, every spike,
Yep.
every sell, they're all on the same algorithm. That's why, when this ape came out, and I didn't sell any of my ape. I've actually accumulated more ape, but um everyone said, "Oh, go through and buy ape, buy ape." We'll get into that, and I don't want to get too far ahead. I don't want to
No,
get
no,
too
no,
far
no.
ahead. I'll wait.
We got time.
I know, I know. I'll talk about it, but like, as far as ape goes, what was the big motive when ape came out? We need to buy ape because obviously saving Billy, right? It would have given AMC its capital to
Yep.
pay off debt or make other company acquisitions or whatever it may be. I'm not the CEO, but it would have freed up more cash for AMC. And obviously, what we've seen with Ape, in my opinion, is a synthetic Wall Street dilution, right? We have proof from Fidelity and stuff like on Twitter, basically stating, I don't know if you remember that, but they're like, yeah, we're not like other brokerage firms. We're not going to put Ape in your account until we physically, have the Ape to give you, unlike other brokerage firms. Like they basically told us right in plain sight that, you know, they didn't that the broker said it was in your account and it hadn't even left the DTCC or wherever it may have
CCs.
been, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, so
Another thing, real quick before I
yeah,
cut you off.
no,
Another
go
thing,
ahead.
all of those shares have to be registered with the DTCC.
Right,
So for all those people who are saying, "Oh, they're just disappearing," about no, it's registered with the DTC. So that has been just such a conspiracy theory going on. Like, oh, they're just IOUs and I gotchas and the rehypothecation going on. Absolutely, 100%. Is there naked
right.
shorting going on? Blatant naked shorting? Yeah, most likely, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know what the short numbers are, so we can't tell all the time. All we get is these BS numbers from Ortex that tell us half the story. And we got to base and
And they're
make our
not
best
even real
decisions
numbers.
off of that.
W
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah,
know, I
we
know,
we have a
I know.
glitch, there's a glitch on Ortex every other day, you know? Oh,
Yeah,
like that's debacle that just went down with GameStop. Shorts increased 50%, like, and then Ortex comes out. Oh, like, you know, this was a glitch. Like I could literally write a story on it, 3 weeks into the future and probably be 90% correct on everything I wrote down. Like the same exact cycle keeps repeating every single week. That's why like people get all bent out of shape about what's going on. It's like, just as well as I do, there's some newer holders in this that maybe, just bought in for a couple weeks, right? Or a couple weeks
hmm
ago, but like this same thing has gone on since the day I got in, like the same short distort news, the same, technical glitches. Like there's no human error. No, there's not a human typing in, the price of AMC. This is all computer generated numbers based off of order flow that's taking place. So the fact that we have all these glitches is absolutely insane to me. it doesn't make sense. And honestly, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably because it doesn't make sense. I say that all the time. If the math doesn't add up, there's probably a reason for that.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this, because my theory on this has always been, when they talk about that because let's just say you or I or anyone in the chat right now, for the last 18 months, if you had to name one or two different stocks that you've been hyper focused on, could you name one or two stocks that you've been hyper focused on the last two major stocks? Would you say you've been hyper
Like
focused
aside
on?
from AMC is what you're asking? Or are you saying included with
No. I mean,
AMC?
in general, across the
Oh,
market. Yep.
obviously AMC's been number one. I would say my second is Sundial.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I know
Sundial and
it's a
AMC.
very
Okay.
diluted mindset on Sundial. I've come out with a video talking about it, but obviously Sundial has some substantial room for squeeze, but it's not like AMC where I expect it to happen, obviously GME too. I just seen that comment. I do own GME also, but I kind of put AMC and GME kind of in the same, you know, topic because they're both realistically, in my opinion, I think AMC and GameStop are kind of the same thing. They're going to do the same thing at the end of the day, in my opinion. So they're kind of, I own them both. So, but obviously, weed right now in the United States, we're waiting for it to become federally legal. And I think that's, going to be the catalyst for the shorts to start covering on that. So,
Do
and
you think there's any possibility that we are just, as retail and as all AMC, GME, APE holders, or whatever meme stock you happen to be holding right now, do you think there's a possibility that sometimes we are just so over hyper focused on these individual tickers that we are catching up and picking up on these things because of think about it. How many stocks are traded on the market every day? I don't know. It's over like 40,000 different tickers.
yeah.
When you are so overly hyper focused, it's easy for you to pick and choose and find these things. Like
Mhm.
if you ask me about, let's say, Redbox right now, or let me think of a different example. Let me think of something that's been more of a meme in the past. Let's just say Sundial, for example. Now, if we were doing a Sundial channel and me and you were sitting in here talking about Sundial 24/7, and we had a bunch of money invested in Sundial, do you think we would be watching Sundial as closely as Aurora Cannabis or Tilray or any of the other companies out there right now that are making, that are weed stocks? Don't you
I
think that
see.
maybe there's a little bit of bias because we're so
Absolutely.
over hyper focused?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wondering if you agree with that a little bit. Okay.
100%. I mean,
Okay.
it's the
All
same.
right.
I'll just talk about it with options with you. I mean, like I don't swing options. I don't know if you trade options. I'm sure you have, or you're a pretty intelligent guy, but
I got burnt on a couple, so
it'll
I've been
yeah.
very cautious.
I don't ever swing
Yeah.
options, but I'm just gonna go into the example. I don't want to talk. We don't need to talk about options, but like going back to what you just stated about the biasness, like you get a lot of people who like if I buy options expiring 3 weeks from now, let's say calls, obviously I'm gonna watch that stock and my mind's gonna make me want to keep believing that it's gonna go up, right? Why? Because I'm in calls. Whereas if I didn't own anything, I wouldn't care. I would be more diverse and not care if it goes up or down, right? Our minds have you know, our minds have a way of convincing us that it's going to go a certain direction because obviously at that point, like you said, we're going to have that biased opinion on it. But sometimes I think a biased opinion is good on it because if we didn't have a biased opinion like with AMC, we would have never been able to come together to do what we've done. um we would have been so diverse and scattered, um because we would have wanted to get into Sinmark, right? It wasn't at the time, it wasn't about investing in AMC because we wanted movie theaters to, like everyone says, well, we wanted to keep the movie theaters around. Well, that's not why 70% of people got invested in AMC. They got invested in AMC to squeeze shorts out. After time goes by and we've developed a very strong relationship with the CEO, and we've come to the conclusion that the short squeeze may not happen as quickly as we thought.
Yeah.
I'm not listen, like, but at the end of the day, I'm in it for a short squeeze play. But I always try to tell people, like, I like to look at it as, you know, movies are coming back. That's a reality. And obviously, I want AMC to make good decisions. So that way, there, it's like 100% safe, right? Even without a short squeeze, let's say, which I highly doubt a short squeeze will never happen. I'm super bullish and like 99% sure a MOAS is going to happen with AMC. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in it, right? But I like
Mm-hmm.
to know in the back of my mind, okay, even if this takes a year or two, let's just say, at least I know that AMC is fundamentally becoming more valued. So even if it doesn't squeeze in the next 5 years, I'm still in a company that's going to be building my wealth, right? Because, you know, we have to remember that you could have 100 grand, AMC could shoot up to $72 and you could have 150 grand sitting there. But until you hit that sell button, you don't have shit.
Yep.
So it's important for people. And that's why, like, a lot of people talk about the shorts. Oh, well, shorts are up $1.2 billion today. They're not up shit, because until they buy those shares from us and cover their shorts, they're not up anything. And people
Yep.
forget about that, right? They're like, oh, well, AMC was at $72. Now it's at $5.60. And shorts shorted it from $72. That's great. Maybe their portfolio shows billions of dollars in profit, but until they buy those shares from us and we sell to them, there's no profits. And that's just the reality.
Yep.
I don't care how high they're up. I don't care if they were up 1,000,000%. If they don't buy those shares from me to close their position, they're not up anything.
Yep.
And when they start buying those shares from us, the price is going to have to keep going up until we find a price that we're ready to sell. So that's really the crappy part about being in a short position. Like, that's the reality of it. And there's really honestly no way retail investors can lose on this unless, I think, and for retail investors to lose, because assuming, the numbers are correct, right? Like, 40% of the float's on loan, 20 something percent shorted. Assuming those numbers are correct, you would need 60% of retail to sell for them to cover.
It's a
And
lot of
that's not going to happen,
shares.
because as soon
It's a
as
lot of
AMC
shares.
starts ripping, people are going to come buying in like crazy again. Because all the people that sat there saying, oh, this is never going to happen, that's never going to go up, guess who's going to be first in line to buy shares? Them. And they're
Yep.
not going to shut the buy button off again, because back then when they shut the buy button off the first time, we weren't awake. We weren't together. We weren't exposing corruption. Now, with the
Right.
things that we
Right.
know, that's
Right.
not going to happen again.
Yeah. There would be an outcry never heard before in the across the land, right?
Absolutely.
AMC said MC said MC says AMC is gonna have a great Q4. I'm just curious. I want to see what the first numbers are. Did we get when the opening for Black Panther?
I
Didn't start
think
this weekend, did it?
November. I don't know if it was this. I want to say it's November like 15th or something like that. I could be wrong, but I thought it
Let's
was.
see.
I could be wrong.
November 10th, Thursday.
Hmm.
4 days. 4 days. So have you heard? So I've been talking many other retail investors, right? Subscribers to the channel, friends who are subscribers to the channel, other creators like yourself, Tony, KC, Pantheon. We've all discussed a lot of these things, and I'm glad I got you on here tonight because
Yeah, appreciate it.
I appreciate you going out and it takes a lot of courage to come out and say and stick with your convictions no matter what is going on. And there's all kinds
Mhm.
of turbulence around us right now between the community, between other creators who have split off from the group and have taken some people with them. We're not going to mention any names tonight, but they are
We
out
all know,
there.
right?
Yeah, we all know who those people are. Some people have left completely. I mean, some
Right.
guys that I watched on like the regular, like I'm trying to think, like Lion Trader. He was one of
Yeah.
the guys that I used to enjoy watching because I thought he sometimes made some great points and did great breakdowns. And as soon as Ape was announced, he just completely disappeared. Wrench Capital selling all his Ape out, like, a couple of days after it was, after we had that split with the dividend. So, I appreciate the loyalty. And I think, I think that's why the people who watch your channel appreciate your loyalty. And so, yeah, I was happy to get you on tonight. I was honestly earlier today, I was trying to figure out how the hell to get in touch with you. And I just didn't, I don't
Well,
know.
I'm
I
glad we
just had a
figured
brain
out a way.
freeze.
I'm really glad we figured
Yeah.
out.
Now I have your email. We're good. We're good. And,
Yeah.
Tony's away right now. I just want everyone to know I'm not cheating on Tony. This is
Tony's a lot more matured in this market than I am. I love watching Tony and you guys, but I mean, obviously you and Tony both know watching me. Like this whole YouTube stuff, like I truly just I don't have a filter and I keep it real. And sometimes I mess up. Sometimes, people don't like what I have to say, but like there's a lot of people who have quit their jobs for doing this YouTube stuff. And like for me, um, you know, the worst thing that can happen to me is I lose my YouTube channel for being honest and being myself. But I'm not gonna censor what I say on my own channel, right? Because I'm gonna have haters coming through or people. I mean, you get it too. I know you do. Like the amount of hatred that I get, but it's like they don't know my past life. They don't know what I've been through already. Honestly, I'll sit there and drink a beer and laugh at some of the shit people say. Like it's just unbelievable. It's funny. It's funny just because they're taking time out of their day trying to ruin mine. And I think about it like you're literally like, thanks for the view. I appreciate it. Like, I don't know. I just
yeah.
I'm just so I don't understand since the beginning of this play. The bots didn't really start coming through until oh geez, if you bought in February, I bought around that time, a little before, but bots didn't start coming until right before that June run up, I feel like. I wasn't
That we
doing
started getting
YouTube.
infiltrated then. Yeah, I agree
Mhm.
with you. Yeah. Yep.
I think and I'm thinking that run up they were hoping people would sell out, but they didn't. It did the exact opposite. And um,
Are you regretting
I
that now? Let me ask you personally. Are you regretting
yeah,
that now? Yeah.
not selling.
Yeah.
Um, back then I was, of course, because I see my, portfolio go from, five figures to whatever it was, right? It was high up
Six
there,
to
but
five.
yeah,
Yep.
but it was one of those situations where I didn't know, like I was doing trading back then. I'd owned many stocks before that. That wasn't my first ever stock I ever bought into, right? But it was my first short squeeze play. And I remember at the time, like, man, that sucks. But the more and more research I was doing, because the research never stopped, right? I continued doing my DD every day, continued just being a part of it every day, right? It was during COVID. There was more time on our hands. And
Yep.
as the deeper I dove into things, it really opened my eyes to like, man, that $72 isn't anything compared to what this thing can run to. Like that is chump change. And ever since that day, I'm like, if I would have sold that $72 and I would have never made the top, right? We wouldn't have made the top. So let's just say if I
No,
would have
no.
sold at $62,
60. Right.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And been done with it, and 3 years went by and I seen AMC rip to 2 grand. I don't know what I'd be pissed off. I don't know how I'd deal with that, I don't know, because greed, I try not to be greedy, but there's a fine line between being greedy and being patient, right?
Hmm.
We're not into this play blind anymore, right? Well, at least most of us aren't.
No.
I have enough due diligence and enough, um, common sense to understand that I'm willing to be patient. Even if I had to wait another 10 years, the numbers that I see this thing going to, in my mind, are worth the wait. Like, I don't think it's gonna take that long ever, but, like, and I seen some comments, yeah, I got rosy cheeks right now. Like, I'm, like, pressurized when I talk about something I had passion in, just because it's like, I don't think people realize what we do on the sidelines. Like, I came to YouTube when all these other, YouTubers started flipping, and just YouTubers that I thought were terrible people off the bat, right? Like, it wasn't as much about what they talk about, but I have a pretty good understanding of being able to read someone and who they are, and not judging a book by its cover, but just their mannerisms and things like that. And just these YouTubers were terrible people. They quit their job to YouTube full time because they were getting all that clout, making buku bucks during COVID. And then once people found out the real them, they lost their viewers, and there's a reason for that.
Yep.
And then it came to pushing other plays and creating clickbait titles like, "Oh, this is bad news for AMC." Like, get out of here. Like, what's the bad
Yeah.
news? And then you click on it and there's nothing. It just,
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand these people. I really don't understand. I mean, I just don't see what they have to gain, right, out of this. There's obviously no denying, in my opinion, that there's been a mass infiltration and mass buy off that took place in this community, in my opinion. If you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, anybody in here, that's fine. But when you go back to any one of these YouTubers' channels, watch the video before they told you to sell your AMC, move on to something else. They were bullish as could be, and they just flipped like that. There was no indication they were losing steam. They just flipped. And
I'll be honest with you. One of the things that bothered me the most about this, starting off buying in February of 2021 and then starting my channel in April of 21, in that 2-month span, when I started to see all those clickbait videos come out, the Tom Zulolos, who were talking 100,000 to 500,000 a share. There was a bunch of them that were coming out, right? There was finance news.
right,
There was a lot of these clickbait channels coming out. And, Tony's mentioned this a lot of times in the last years before. That was one of the reasons. And by the time it had rolled around to mid-April when I started my channel, I was heavily invested in the stock, right? Because I was looking at it as, okay, it's a squeeze play possibly, but no matter what, it's a recovery play. If I'm picking this up at $5, $6, $7, $8 a share, there's no way I can go wrong unless COVID becomes a lockdown forever.
right.
And that's the only way I can lose on this. So I kind of had a little bit of a different mind frame coming into this. Now, as time has gone on, obviously my opinions on everything have changed. This has had a change from a short squeeze play, which I believe we did see a squeeze up in June, because we had the perfect storm that was forming running up to that. As far as like FOMO and a gamma squeeze happening, all those things that came into play
Mhm.
in order to have us have that historic run. And it was a little disheartening waking up that morning. I'll never forget this. I don't know, Scavenger, when did you start your YouTube channel, bro?
I jumped in. Oh, geez. I'm sure someone in the comments would know, because I'm sure there's some scabby people in here. But say I've been doing it for about. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna check real quick. Get an exact month for you. Time just flies by. It feels like, I don't
I
know.
hear you. I hear you. Broke Ape says TMI, the only one I rep out of the switch slider bunch because he really cares about our play, I feel. Yeah, he might be the only one that really cares. I don't think me and
Who?
Scavenger give a shit away, to be honest with you. TMI.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
somebody who
Yeah.
has to cover their face cares more. I started in June, this June, or this last June.
Okay, so just a
So
couple months ago.
yep, yep. So I
Okay.
jumped in right after the right after the stuff started taking place. I'm like, I truthfully, like, I didn't want to, like, I love doing YouTube, but obviously, as you know, like, you're doing a lot more prep work than I am. Like, you have everything going, but like for me, it's a lot to add in. I don't think people realize, like, just doing those videos, even like there's some days I just don't have anything to talk about, but I want to, I have a decent following and I want to, or decent community, I'd like to call it. I don't like calling it a following. I mean, I know what the people, I don't think necessarily are there for me, as they're more there for the play. Like I'm the face of that, right, on my channel, but it's not, they're there because I'm talking about something that I'm passionate in, that they can relate with. And I just needed people to realize that they're not alone, because I know some people wake up in the morning and you see a Twitter post or whatever, and it's some jackwagon telling you the worst news you've ever seen, and you just need somebody out there that is with you, that isn't giving you the advice, but that can is right next to you, to for them to lean on, or whatever it may be, right? That sounded a
Yep.
little sus, but you know what I'm saying. It just, I thought that was important. And if it takes me, if it takes me having to work, do YouTube, do lives, to help change other people's lives too, to change mine and theirs, right? And to give them that extra boost of motivation, that's something I'm willing to do. So,
Yeah.
um, and
It's an
that's the
important
same
part
with
of it
you,
too, man. Yeah, we have a responsibility, right?
Yep.
I feel like. Let's gotta put this comment up, because Joel Dawes, anytime someone comes up and says that they've been with me since under 100 subs, I have to give them props. So,
Let's
Joel, thank you,
go.
man. Appreciate you hanging in with me since 100. I know that was April of 2021. So it's been a long time, man. Much love from Mass to you. Guys in the chat, Content Invest, how you doing tonight, buddy? I'm sure you were excited about the run up from Highcroft yesterday. We saw that up. So I hope you made some money on that. Yes, Joel says yes, recovery play and possibly a MOAS. Yeah, I'm not taking MOAS off the table. Just everyone's gonna have, I think, a different definition right now of MOAS, and that's the problem, right? If you're talking MOAS with the Massalorian, I don't think we're going to $100,000 a share. Now, you guys can crucify me for that, but I just don't see that happening. But let's just say I have to hold this stock for another 8 months. If I can see the same type of run up, and this is just bare bones. If I see the same type of run up that GameStop had in January of 2021, I would have no problem with that, right? Even these people who got into Gtii at 60 cents that had a 600% run up to $9, why you wouldn't pull those winnings off the table, I have no idea, but I know you're being told that this thing is going to 3 digits, and I hope it does for all of you guys out there who own it. But just take it to look at the chart for the last month, and let me know. Is it something indicating that we're possibly heading to $100 a share right now? I'm not sure. I guess only time will tell. James Harris says, just missing Bigums. I'd love to have Bigums on. I don't know how to get in touch with Biggies. Yuka says, American Trader, it's going great. How's everything with you, pro? Scav work allergy videos are the best. Yeah, take your time, man. J Beeb says, Casey Shaw's daily live streams is awesome for info and the updated daily numbers. J Beebs, I couldn't agree with you more. I had to excuse myself from Casey's live streams just because I got into a personal confrontation with someone in his chat, and it got a little nasty, and that's not like me, and I would never want to bring shame to someone else's channel or their chat. So I haven't been on Casey's live stream in a couple weeks since that happened. Some of you guys know I had it out with Steven Seibert on the live stream that morning, and I just decided that maybe that's just not a place for me to be. I'm way too emotional, and I have no filter when it comes to people challenging me.
Sorry about the background,
yeah,
Massalorian. I got 2 toddlers running around behind me.
Hey, man. Hey, you do your thing, bro. Take care of your kids. You do your thing, man. You do your thing. Let's see. CSI says, I was excited about that. I'm assuming he's talking about the Highcroft run. I was excited about that. No money, not selling to $9. So CSI, I did happen to catch a video. Just fill me in real quick. What is the future of the plant right now? So from what I gathered from what you said, they have mined everything. They're in the leach pads right now, and they are done doing that. They have shut down all cost effectiveness to go any further. So what is the ultimate plan for the future? Where are we what's our catalyst to get this thing running again so I can get in and make some money? Let's see. Hold on. GD Shenanigans says here, hold up. You just talked about how great it was you didn't sell AMC at 72, but suddenly people are morons if they didn't sell GTII at 8. Love you, but that take is pretty biased. Yeah. Okay. So here's a couple of differences between GTII and OTC pink slippage stock and AMC, a company that's been around for over 100 years, has theaters all over the world. Can you name me one thing about GTII that you feel bullish about right now, GT Shenanigans, that are going to get me those triple digits? Just one thing that says, you know what, based off this, I can easily see $100 a share. And I'm open. I'm all ears. Because if you do see that and you haven't make a good argument, then maybe I'm missing the boat. Okay, let's see. James Harris says CSI. Wait till after. Let me ask you this, Scavenger. What are your opinions on the NFTs? Do you feel like the NFTs are going to cause a big momentum shift at some point for AMC or anything in particular? And hang on one second. I'm just going to grab a beverage. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can
I'll
answer
keep the
that.
chat going.
Okay.
I wish you could grab me one too. I don't want to get up. Yeah, I mean, first off, guys, while he's gone, if you haven't already, smash that like button for him. It helps with the YouTube algo. You know how that goes. We'll wait till he gets back to talk about the NFTs. You guys know how I feel about NFTs. I think they're always going to be a thing, but when they first came out, they were running high, little overvalued, if you ask me. But sorry about my background, guys. I'm dealing with my 2 kittens, and here they're being crazy fucks. So he's got nothing. GTI is an OTC stock that had a run up. That's it. Yeah, guys, smash the like. Honestly, I don't think NFTs guys are going to be the catalyst to an AMC squeeze. I think personally, I just think it's going to be, I mean, if AMC could pull revenue off of selling NFTs, yes. I don't really know if I should speak on NFTs because I don't know, maybe as much as Massalorian about NFTs or some of you guys, but I don't know. I'm not a big NFT guy. I'll just leave it at that. I know he's got a secret door behind him. That's funny. Mass, everybody thought you just slept, ate, and went to the bathroom in that room. They didn't know there was a secret compartment behind you. Oh, I think you're muted.
Got it. Yeah, that's the I got the double doors there, right? For silence.
I love that, dude. That's I might have to get to construction if we start doing more of these lives. Tear down that wall behind me and make this bigger.
Yeah, tell me what do you see in the background? Tell me what do you see in the background?
On mine, I've got a cat climbing the wall, but on yours, I see your picture.
Can you identify anything in the pictures?
I can. Yeah, I got the world. I see North America, South America, Africa. And then in the back, I see the upside down V. I think that's what that is. The lower ones I can't see very well. I don't know what the upside down. You'll have to give me the insight on that.
So that's the if you've ever seen a Spartan shield, that is what they would have on their shields from the Spartan, back in the day. If you looked at a Spartan shield, it would have that insignia for Delta on it.
Okay.
So that's basically just that. But do you see what the documents are on the left?
I can see the
Can you tell?
documents. I can't see what they say because you got the beautiful light coming from. I see those candles beautifully, and then I see some stuff below, but I can't see what the
If you
documents say.
if you had to guess what the 3 were, what would be your wildest guess?
What I would think they are?
Yeah.
Oh, if I had to guess, I would say they're news articles from something. Would be my best guess, which is probably wrong.
That's an interesting take.
You have the
Interesting take.
Sparta
Let me
thing in the
know. So what do
background,
you
so is it a quote?
documents are aligned? No. No, if anyone can figure out what those 3 pieces of paper back there could be. Jason says, you know, Lou is a con artist now. He went from AMC GMA from almost 2 years, then switched everyone to GTI while making fun of AMC the whole last few weeks. You know, I made a video the other day about that, about and his videos. And there was a lot of people in the comments saying I misrepresented him video because that's not what he said. The Lewiside thing. And I must admit, I know most of my subscribers, 99.9% of them, are extremely intelligent people. That's why they're sub to the channel. And understand that what I was doing there was cutting up clips, him talking about holders, and he sits there 2 days later to say you should never make food struggling. That can cause serious damage to people. I'm getting from people saying that they, you know, they're thinking of offing themselves. You know, is there any other YouTuber out there running around laughing at AMC and APE shareholders or GME shareholders that for 2 years reached that this was the next best thing? And if they are, let me know so I can make a video on them. But he might be the only one. And so for everyone who said I was misrepresenting Lou, those were only Lou's words. I didn't speak at all. I clipped in what Lou said and what Lou said and what Lou said. Nothing was what I said. All I did was put up the National Prevention Hotline for suicide and say, hey, if you have real trouble, reach out to me in the email. That was it. Everything else in that
I don't know
video
if I
was strictly
should.
from his mouth.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know. I've done well. I don't. This is your YouTube channel, so I don't want to say anything too off here. You know, I don't know what you like to talk about and stuff, but let's just say I've done my fair share of digging on some of these YouTubers, and Lou's a funny one. Lou's a funny one. Um, you know, obviously when you sell, you know what the Wolf of Wall Street did. The only difference between him and Lou is Wolf of Wall Street sold penny stocks. Lou sold fake ad stamps in a news article to people. And what do you do when your court's up and you need money? You start doing YouTube because the money starts rolling in, especially when you're Lou getting all the views that he gets. And then what else do you do to make yourself look better? Sorry, my cat's literally being an idiot. You ask everybody that you've helped to send you videos. So that way, there, when you're on trial, what do? You show the court, hey, look,
Right.
I did bad in the past, but look what I'm doing now. All these people sent me videos of how I changed your life. And obviously that didn't happen because he sold out of AMC sooner than expected. But what YouTuber that came in way after we bought in goes, yeah, will you guys send me videos after thanking me since I'm the one, who got you into this? It's like, dude, you didn't get me into anything. It's funny watching him because he looks like, I don't know if you've seen Spy Kids, but he looks like a fucking thumbhead from Spy Kids. Like he's like a Christmas tree shape, but he looks like a walking Christmas tree. But he's just, people can watch whoever they want for entertainment, but like there's got to come a point where you can tell somebody's just an evil person. And that's just my thought on it. But I don't want to get too deep into it because I
It's
feel like
okay.
talking about him is, giving him clout that he doesn't. I don't even, if people don't know about him, I don't even want them to go watch him,
Yep,
but
I hear you.
he's
I
just,
hear you.
he's something, threatens lawsuits left and right. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
but
I'd be worried
whatever.
about you getting sued more than you dropping a suit on someone else. I'm actually not even worried
Yeah,
about him sued. He's gonna get shanked before he gets sued.
right.
Someone's gonna stick a
Right.
shiv right in his back, right in his kidney, and that's gonna be the end of it. Let's see. All right, so just so you guys know, because I've seen a couple people saying here, you said mass of the Constitution.
One more
So on the left-hand
I'm gonna grab a
side
beer.
is, yep, take your time. Left-hand side's the Bill. In the middle is the Constitution, and on the right is the Declaration of Independence. So those are the three documents, and I am going to try to design and keep going with this channel based off of those three documents, because I feel like the one thing that can hold this country together is those three documents. It's not going to be mainstream. It's going to be Elon Musk and Twitter. It's not going to be the government. It's going to be these three documents and the people actually taking account into the words on these documents and making people pay attention and make consequences for those who do not want to follow this. Case in point, when I saw, and listen, I know everyone gets all over me about the politics thing with, with the Democrats right now, but unfortunately for me, since I started this YouTube channel, I can base it off of what I've seen since April. And in that whole time, the Democrats have been in power, complete power. They have power over Congress. They have the executive branch, and they have the split vote with Kamala Harris to do things like help with executive orders and to pass, anything that's 50-50 on the Senate floor. She's got the final vote to push it over. So, I got issues with that. I got problems. And it doesn't stem from a hatred of Democrat versus Republican. I don't have a party. I would say, if anything, I'm a libertarian more than anything. Like, if I had to pick a party, I'm more about less government, more freedom, and bodily autonomy things, right? The right to, I believe in the Second Amendment, the First Amendment. Look, if we get rid of a republic, we are doomed. Our democracy was stolen a long time ago. For anyone sitting around and still telling you that January 6th, your democracy was stolen, you're a sucker. Your democracy was stolen away from you a long time ago when the Federal Reserve came in, when they took us off the gold standard, when we got 2 bailouts from the banks. That is not a democracy. That is a, oh God, I just had the word the other day. Shoot. Hold this up.
It's like farther than socialist even. It's
If you want to fill in, if you want to talk right now while I'm looking this up, Scab, go for it.
Well, first off, just before I get hate in the comments for it, I know Tony, I was watching a stream, you and Tony was saying Coors Light's like bottom of the barrel beer. Listen, Tony, we're gonna have to scrap on that one because I think this is a King's beer, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyways,
what are you drinking, Mile High Life? I can't see.
No, I drink Coors Light. You listen though, I'm not picky with beers. I like IPAs. I go to breweries. Like I love all beer, but this is my daily driver.
There you go.
My daily driver.
Yep.
I can drink a bunch of them and not get dehydrated. Stuff like that. So
yep,
I just like them. I don't know, they're refreshing. Nothing's more rewarding than a cold beer at the end of a hard day. Girls Light is water. That's the point, though. That's what I'm trying to get across. Coors Light is that's the point of trying to drink water, so I can drink more of them. An IPA, you can only drink 2 of them, and then for at least I can, and then I'm like, ooh, I'm done. Let alone they're like 8% alcohol, right? But
yeah.
Anyways, back. What was the name of what were you talking? Let's go back to you. Did you find what you were looking for?
Corporate ocracy. corporate corruption. Wow, this is a tongue twister. Corporatocracy, ruled by corporations, a
Corporatocracy.
system of governments where an economic and political system is controlled by corporations or corporate interest. It is used generally. Examples include company rule in India and the business voters for the City of London Corporation. And I feel like that's what we've to, and you can add oligarchy to that if you want, because there are a certain number of people who continue to push for policies, and they're working. They're working, right? They're working. But what do you feel? Do you feel like there's a possibility? What are your take on what's coming up with the election? Do you think that this is going to have any impact? That this red wave is going to have any impact on helping retail investors?
No, I don't. I don't think that politicians in general, rather, and people are going to hate me for saying this, but sorry, I was reading that comment. I don't think that I don't think politicians want to help us because we can look at, thankfully we have the blessing of unusual whales. You can, put the chart out of politicians beating, um, beating the S&P 500, just insider trading. Like, I truly don't have faith in politicians. I truly think the way, aside from AMC becoming a fundamentally high valued stock and shorts cover, I feel like retail staying loud. You got to remember every live we do like this, every YouTube video we put out, we're reaching more and more people. This is growing, and I'm not talking about pushing a stock like AMC, right? This is about people waking up that this so-called free market that we have isn't a free market. It's not a free market. It's a market that if you're lucky, you can jump in, play in the minefield of corruption and walk out with some money. But it's not a free market, okay? Obviously, we know that it's them versus us, and if it was truly them versus us, that's fine. But they get to use their tools to manipulate stocks in their favor. We can we can take a look at, I mean, I options trade, so I see all the blue chip stocks. Like, we seen Friday, right? Or we seen when the Feds came out on Wednesday, right? We had a little pump because the news pushed the Feds. Every blue, or not, they didn't push the Feds. I'm sorry. They pushed the Feds being dovish, which would mean a pivot's coming soon, which would in turn have the market rally, right? Because less rate increases, we're getting inflation under control. Every blue chip stock moves identically. Like, you can literally take the S&P 500, the Dow, the Nasdaq, like all these stocks, they literally pump and dump at the same time. And I try to tell people that's how you know it's not retail investors selling out. It's not your grandparents that have a retirement account selling. This is strictly algorithms. This is Wall Street liquidating or pumping stocks to get FOMO or to liquidate assets. That's plain and simple. What the moment you see retail investors begin selling is the moment that the SPY is moving completely different than the Dow Jones, right? That's when you, in my opinion, when you truly see retail investors are selling out or buying in, right? Like, this everything moving together is pathetic. It's a lie, it's a scam, and we aren't living in a free market right now. We're living in a very artificially priced bullshit market, and that's just the facts. That's just the facts. Can you go in there and and do some scalp trades and make a shit ton of money? Yeah, absolutely you can. But the reality is this is not this is this is you're putting money into a market, into blue chip stocks, hoping that Wall Street allows it to maintain a price that it's at. Like, that's just my thoughts. I'm not trying to spiral into, but um, you know, it's unbelievable. And it goes to AMC, GameStop. Look at all these meme stocks, right? What is a meme stock? It's a retail owned stock, right? We own the float on it. And because we own the float on it, the news has labeled them as meme stocks, right? Because we want to be invested in an American company, it's a meme stock. Now, like, how pathetic is that? That we have the news media coming out calling an American business a fucking meme stock. Like that,
Yeah, I
like,
know.
doesn't that drive you nuts?
Especially
Like,
with 100 years of experience behind it and success, right? Yeah,
yeah, but these Chinese IPOs can come out and they're fine. Oh yeah,
yeah,
buy the hell out of it. This is a good. It's like these news medias are freaking pathetic. Like,
yeah,
and then you do more deep diving in who owns CNBC, a majority of it, or not a, owns a significant amount of it. Citadel Securities, who pay for these politicians to run, who pays for their campaigns, hedge funds, market makers, like this toilet of corruption is just sickening. It really is. And like that's why I say our strongest tool, we're so lucky to have YouTube and Twitter, and obviously people take advantage of Twitter and cause drama and things like that, but we have the tools to spread information. And it doesn't even have to always be, it's not always going to be right information, but keeping people awake so they can do their own research. If somebody thinks that the January 6th, election was rigged, okay, rather you believe it's rigged or not, the situation where we have to even question the integrity of that, you're going to cause someone to do some research and develop their own opinion on that, right? And that's what we're working for here. We're trying to show the world, like, you don't need to rely on us for information. You need to hear us and go out, and you can see it all yourself when you start looking. It's all right in front of your face. You just need to open your eyes. And that's my goal personally, with the YouTube. It's not pushing other stocks. It's wake up, people, do the research, look what's going on. We've been brainwashed our entire lives. It's time to wake up and see what's really going on. And the more you dig into it, the
yeah,
more you just want to throw up, at least
yeah.
me.
The day in my video, I'm like, or actually, I just pulled it from the live stream where I'm like, sometimes I just feel like throwing my hands up and being like, is this even going to work at some point? Are we going to be able to get these things figured out? Are we going to be able to get transparency? Are we going to be able to get them to ban payment for order flow? Is it not unethical for people to be trading stocks or their family members based off information that they are privy to and they can make policy changes on? As long as
Right.
these people continue to roll in the cash, what for 1 second would they stop and say, well, maybe we need to look at the SEC, give them some more funding?
Hmm.
They don't want the SEC getting any more involved than they are right now. They
Right.
want to fund billion-dollar wars in Ukraine and keep us in a never-ending war. Like Julian Assange said, the point of the Afghanistan war was not to go in and take out Osama bin Laden and defeat the Taliban. It was to, for 20 years, make it the never-ending war that constantly pushed the military industrial to continue to have to make armaments and escalate that. And they knew for the withdrawal that it was going to be a mess. Knew it was
Yep.
going to be a mess, and they did it anyways, because the point wasn't winning the war. The point was the endless war that can funnel money up to the MIC and away from the taxpayers' dollar. Think about all that money. And I just watched the speech by President Isaac's speech that he gave right before his term was over. He gave his goodbye speech. He was talking about the dangerous elements of the military-industrial complex and how, we need to have a safe and secure country. We need to have military on standby. We need to have the equipment and the tools in order to fight war. But going around and being the police of the entire world is where it becomes a sticky situation. And that's how
Hmm.
we've gotten ourselves into everything from Vietnam, Syria, to Libya, to Iraq, to Afghanistan, and now Ukraine. And I think it was very prophetic what he says. So what he said, and he knew what he was talking about back then. Saw the writing on the wall coming, and we're seeing it right now. We're being told in mainstream media. I even heard someone on mainstream media the other day say that inflation is a talking point of the Republican Party, a talking point that's made up, that they are just spewing out this word inflation. No one knows what inflation means. It's the most arrogant. Type of way you could possibly describe someone, saying it's stupid to understand that when they see gas go up from $3.19 to $3.79, as it did here just in the last 14 days, that inflation is not real. It's really real. And if you think people on TV don't understand that, mistaken. I hate to say that, but I don't know. Let's see. Someone said, move the comment. Quick to George here. 7. Hold on. Let me find him. Because he's an old buddy of mine. Is currently still in Ukraine right now. And
prayers.
No matter what you feel about that fight, anyone whose family members in there, I want to make sure that they're. So, George, I hope your mom is doing okay. And we won't be forever, my friend, hopefully.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
See. Yeah. Let's see. Professional, what is wrong with them being nice to each other? Hold on here. Do you have something you want to say?
Oh, I was going to ask you a question. I'm sure you've already said it, but
sure, go for it.
I want to hear it, Myers. So I'm going to ask you the hard question. And at the end of the day, guys, watching the video, it really doesn't matter. Like, I don't want people to attack me or you for this question, because everyone can have their own feeling. Obviously, we've known where I've kind of fell in the AMC thoughts and trying to get it to a fundamentally smart company. But what's your takes on Adam Aaron? Do you trust him, or are you just kind of, I'm in it for a short squeeze and I just am, what's your take on it? And I keep in mind, like, I just want to say, like, before you answer that, like, I look at the things like him going out and meeting with shareholders, things like that, like, and just being transparent with us is really what makes me feel like I'm in good hands. But that's just my opinion. Let's hear yours.
Man, this is a tough thing for me, right? Because I've been following this whole story since January of 2021, right? And in those 4 months, from January of 2021 till April, when he did the first interview with Trey had him on. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay. From that time, I really didn't know too much about Adam Aaron. His did start to look into it when I started to pick up shares. I wanted to see what this guy's track record was like with the companies that he'd done been involved with before. I saw they were all success. He's done a very good job with companies he's previously owned. And so I put some faith in that. And then here's where my thought process starts to split with Adam Aaron. So on June, that morning when I woke up, and any of you guys who ever go back to my channel, or and we'll announce Scavenger before we let you go. Just
no worries, no worries.
Yeah, don't worry about it though. We'll do that. If I did a video on June 2nd, which was the day where we ran up to 72 in the pre-market, and Sorkin Ross came out that morning and made the announcement that Adam Aaron was dropping 20 million shares to Mudrick Capital and someone else. It was 11.5 billion and 8.5 million. And I didn't know shares were still out there. But still, in the overall scheme of things, I said to myself, that's not a lot of shares. You're talking about what, like 1/5 even of the total float
Yeah.
that he's dropping out. Now, CNBC came on that morning, Aaron Ross Sorkin, and it's in the video. I made sure I recorded it. He came out and said, now, obviously, these shares have to be approved by shareholders. They can't be released right now. And then within like 2 hours, Mudrick had taken those shares and dumped them, right? And that was kind of the beginning of the end of that run in June, right? Right? Would you say?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, yeah. It was like
Okay.
how long was the run if I can remember? Like 3 days, right?
3 days from
Yeah.
the last day in May till June 3rd.
Yeah,
We
okay.
went from $14 to 7, right? So
Mhm.
I first came out that morning. I'll never forget this. I was making a video saying this is FUD information. Yes, of course, these shares have to be voted on. Aaron Ross Sorkin is right, but now looking back at it, I didn't realize that inside the filings from Q2, it was in there that they had ability to pull these 20 million shares to put them on the market. Now, it raised $2 billion for them, which was great, right? But in my personal opinion, that week, we were running to triple digits. Had we broken $100 in that run and weren't dumped, I think we really could have seen some wild things happen right after that.
Mhm.
I don't know how long it would have been before they tried something nefarious to put an end to it, but I think we should have seen some crazy prices once it hit triple digits, because you might have seen people saying, hey, man, we need those shares back. This is way too risky. And they might have had to start covering. And that could have been it. And honestly, in my opinion, when that happened, I thought we were good. I said, all right, this is gonna be just a little drop in the bucket. These 20 million shares will be gobbled up, they'll be resold, and we'll be back in business. But that completely killed all our momentum, which
Right.
really bums me out, right? That really, I thought we were going to be over and done with this last June.
Now,
And
your
but
thoughts before we go farther, just because I want to stick with this, but kind of break it down a little as we go, if that's okay with you, just so I can keep up here. So, going back to talking about what you're talking about how it ran up, and obviously there's a lot of people, right, who wish, we'd be done with where with this already and onto something new. But going back looking at it now, and tell me if I'm like completely out of whack for speaking on this way, but I feel like back then when we had that run, people weren't prepared like they are today to see numbers like we expect today, if that makes sense. So I don't think people quite had the knowledge back then. Like you look at back then when this thing ran to $72, let's just call it 2 years ago now. It was like a year and a half, but we're just gonna call it 2 years. People know so much more about what's going on now than we did when that thing AMC may have only squozed to $100 back then because everyone would have rushed into selling because people didn't understand what was going on in the background. Like, so for me to sacrifice, a couple years, or I guess it would be a couple years now, to sacrifice a couple years to prove out the things we proved out, to understand that the short losses are literally unlimited. The what we're seeing in the overall market, like liquidations are occurring, banks are failing, Credit Suisse is going to zero. It is. That's the facts.
you
They're
believe
done.
that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And there's going to be many other banks too. And here's the thing, you can't have you're going to get, rather our feds want to admit it or not, you're going to have bailouts that take place. Okay, you have to have bailouts. There's no other way you can. Okay, like when these banks are so over leveraged, I want to say it was like 250 to 1 in derivatives. These banks are so over leveraged, like these banks are what hold the value of our dollar. If these banks fail, the US dollar fails. And there is no way at the end of the day that the Feds are going to allow the US dollar to fail. The only way the US dollar would fail, in my opinion, is if everybody woke up tomorrow and said, listen, we're going back to the barter system, or we're going back to gold standard, or whatever it may be. Like, because that's reality. If I don't think a dollar is worth a dollar, if let's just say Massalorian, if I want to do your roof on your house, and you say, okay, I'll give you 30 grand, and I say, no, I'd rather have a car instead. I don't want your 30 grand. I want you to equivalent value in a car. What are you going to do? You're going to go buy me a car. So it's based off of what we want, and they don't want us to get into that. They don't want us to lose that integrity in the US dollar. So what's going to happen when you start seeing these big banks fail? And there's going to be bailouts because they're so short and banks are so over leveraged, way worse than 2008. I don't think in 2008 we seen, I think bailouts did occur in 2008 before the full crash actually did happen. I think that bailouts are going to occur with strategic banks, and the other banks are going to be bye-bye. The hedge funds that exist on Wall Street that are short in AMC are going to be bye-bye. They're going to lose everything. And then after they liquidate all their assets, and after their personal assets too, mind you, because their personal assets are going to be gone for too, with how big this is going to be. This is going to end with anyone short in AMC being vaporized, and people are going to fucking jail. And unfortunately, that day of people getting arrested doesn't come until after the fact. We've seen it with the Bernie Madoff. He didn't get arrested until after he stole $60 billion, right? But these things will happen. And then when this does happen and AMC squeezes, GameStop squeezes and goes to record numbers, our government's going to go, what a weird year. Like, we don't know how this happened. Like, this stuff was going on in the sidelines and we had no idea. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen. Exactly, to the T. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's no way we can know exactly which day it's going to occur, but they're going to play stupid and they're going to pretend like, oh, we're going to fix this so this never happens again. And then it's going to happen again. Like, that's just, in my opinion, at least. I mean, but we're sitting good. Like, we're sitting ducks right now waiting. There's literally nothing. Unless AMC goes bankrupt, they're screwed. We have cash accounts. We have the shares in our accounts. They're living off of investor money. They're being burned every single day. And like I talked about earlier when we first started, they aren't up anything until their positions are closed. So if you're down, or if you're way up on a short position, that's great. But at the end of the day, the only way you're closing out of that is buying the shares from me. So you're pretty much worthless, in my opinion. I don't care if you're a $10 trillion company because you have $10 trillion in short positions. Until the day you close that short position, you're worthless. And that's just the facts.
Yep.
And
100%.
That's how people need to look at this. That's why AMC is different than a GTI or any other stock that people want to push, your Rocket Mortgage. Like, that is why we are different than these other plays. Not deterring anybody from going out and making other money, because if you can make money somewhere, that's great. But there is a difference between AMC and any other stock that you want to go jump into. Because what's going on with AMC right now, they will never allow us to do this again. And that's a fact. The only way we're keeping AMC where it is right now is we have them locked. And that's my opinion on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me see here. Giltronic says, and hopefully I do my audio a little bit. If not, I'm going to rip this whole thing apart tomorrow, guys. I promise. The tracking technologies developed by the war on drugs were later applied to the war on terror in Afghanistan. Soon they will adapt drones to pacify Americans, just like they do in China right now. Speaking of which, Mass, your mic is in and out. How the fuck is that possible?
It's being shorted.
Yeah. By the way, have you seen all of the lockdowns on in the Shanxi province right now? some of the biggest Apple
I have
and
not.
so there was a huge, massive Foxconn manufacturing center in Zhengzhou, which is outside one of the bigger cities, where 300,000 employees have fled the dormitories and the manufacturing plants for Apple. So just something to keep your eye on going forward. They're trying to lock people down for the pandemic because they had a little bit of a spread. So numbers for next month for Apple, maybe it will take a quarter or two, but you may see cushions from this.
Get some next year
Just
puts on
in
Apple.
maybe,
Yeah, that's
maybe.
insane. That's insane. I don't do that, but
Yes.
yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I was actually talking about this last week, and I know this is an AMC. I predominantly talk about AMC, but speaking for myself, but you look at like Meta and stuff, like a
Mhm.
$250 billion company, Facebook. How the F is Facebook a $250 billion company? Like, are you joking me right now? Like that,
Not anymore,
in
they're
my
not.
mind, that is no, they've come down a little bit, but like you have you're telling me Facebook is almost was over a quarter the value of Apple. Somebody who actually creates product like that. I'm telling you what, we have not seen the bottom of Facebook yet, or Netflix, or like people have no freaking idea what's coming. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Like it's just insane what's going on right now. Like the reality bubbles popping, and for all of us in AMC and stuff, this is good for us because obviously these hedge funds don't only short, they have long positions too, and they're getting burned in their long positions right now. So and obviously you need money to keep shorting a company. So what happens when you don't have money because you're losing money? Investors pull out if they're able to, and you have to figure out a way to cover. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. Figuring that out, right?
Right. Right. Just real quick, say new mega man. Hey, thank you very much for the chat. I appreciate it, bro. You keeping the lights on, and hopefully we can save money for a new mic because it seems like everybody is saying I need a new mic. So that will be the next thing on the list, guys. I promise. If this is really becoming a problem, but thank you, new mega man. I appreciate you as always. Let's see. Mass, you got the timeline a little wrong. I gotta break this out because I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Because when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm the bomb. Mass, you got the timeline a little wrong, brother. Mudrick sold before the run up to 72. That's why we made fun of them. That's correct. Thank you, plethora of blades. Appreciate you, man, correcting me on that. Let's see. Roseanne, by the way, I saw Roseanne asking who was above me. The man drinking, chugging a bottle right now. That is Scavenger. He is one of the YouTuber creators that I have IQ from time to time. I've watched a lot of his videos. We didn't get a chance to talk before this. It was the last minute thing. I did him on tonight, but I was going him on early today. I just didn't have anybody to get in touch with him. But I feel like and you're wrong about this before. I'm not going to call it any names, but I've had some people as guests who have questionable motives after they came on the show. I'm not
Yeah,
saying any
I feel that.
names, but they know who they are out there.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have a good enough understanding of where Scab is coming from. I'm going to keep going with that.
That's my
And
thing. I
guys, if
mean,
you
nobody. Go ahead. No, go finish up.
you
What
go,
are you
bro. You go,
saying?
bro. I talk all the time. You
No,
go.
I was just no. You're fine. I just first off, again, I'll say it. I said it before, but definitely sorry about that. Definitely an honor being here. With you. Hopefully, one of these days I can catch with Tony too, because Tony's the fist up debater. So I got to get it on that one of these days. But love all you guys. I just that's the thing. I mean, you know me from my videos and stuff. I'm super bullish, and rather someone wants to call it a farce or not on my beliefs. I mean, at the end of the day, those are just my beliefs, and I've done my research, my due diligence, my everything that I need to do to make me feel comfortable about why I'm invested in AMC, all the way down to the CEO of the company. I wouldn't have my money personally in a company that I didn't, trust the CEO in. It just wouldn't make sense to me. Like, you had all these people pushing Mullen before, if you remember that. And like, all I did was looked up the CEO, seen the pictures. He had a picture sitting in a private jet with like an alligator skin wallet. And I'm like, yep, that just answered all the questions I need to know. Like, I'm not going to throw a bunch of money into a company that, has a D bag, CEO. But remember, it's okay to be skeptical over CEO. I'm not knocking on anybody's thoughts. It's good to challenge and be skeptical on the CEO of the company. But and what you said, you're not hating on him. You're just high alert, which is definitely a valuable, you know, an important thing to have, right? Or I can't even talk, but it's good to be, it's good to have constructive criticism over the CEO of a company, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, aside from Wall Street manipulating AMC, Adam Aaron has our portfolios by the neck. And at the end of the day, he could run our portfolios to zero if he wasn't smart. So um, there's a lot riding on that man for sure. So it's definitely good to challenge him once in a while. So
Chris Haynes says, "Oh, Mass, make sure you tell us your feelings on Brazil." Look, I've heard. I'm not on the ground there, so it's very difficult for me to make an assumption of what's going on here in Brazil. I've heard many, many conflicting stories of how this election went down. Again, the fact that people who are running for this office, one is just got out of jail for criminal corruption, and the other is supposed to be a far right extremist. Are these really the two best people we can find? The same thing with Pennsylvania. Are Mehmet Oz and John Fetterman the two best this country or Pennsylvania can come up with for leaders, for Senate leaders, people who have to go down the floor and speak and try to get legislation passed and make an argument on why this bill is good or bad for the American people? I mean, what has this country come to that those are our two options in Pennsylvania? A guy just coming off a stroke. And again, I give that man all the credit in the world. I think that was very brave of him to go up there. Katie Hobbs, who is a little bitch running away from Harry Lake to do a debate. She, the two of them, there's just no comparison. So, honestly, at the end of the day, if I had to pick one candidate, I would probably pick Fetterman, just because at least he has the cojones to go out there against Mehmet Oz. And I don't know how much of a challenge it is to debate Mehmet Oz. He doesn't have the greatest talking points ever. But, people are focused on three things right now. And it's inflation, the border, and no, not election integrity. What was the third thing I want to say? Border, inflation,
an election integrity.
What's the third thing? Yeah, I thought election integrity, but it was something else. I'm not even that worried about election. The whole thing to me is I don't think there was any I don't think there was anything stolen in 2020. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There is an article in Time magazine. If you get a chance, go read it. It talks about how the Democratic Party organized to win the 2020 election. All the things that they did to make sure that Joe Biden would become president. They bragged about it in the article, and it's not a conspiracy theory, but Joe Biden did win the presidency. Donald, the way they went about it, though, was completely wrong and immoral. But it is what it is. And I go all the way back to the coronavirus, all the way back to when that came out. And the way they attacked him for saying, why are you saying it's from China? Because it's from China. I mean, they attacked mercilessly every day on Trump saying they wouldn't take his vaccine. As soon as he was out of office, I mean, nothing changed over at the CDC and Pfizer. The same people who are making the vaccine under Trump let it out to the rest of the community. So all those people who ran around saying, and that was the only copyright, that was the only strike I ever got on a YouTube video, was when all of those Democrats saying, we're not going to take the jab if Donald Trump is behind it. And man, that tune changed real quick once Biden came in office. All of a sudden, even though it was under Trump's administration, they were willing to take it. So I can see the hypocrisy and the political divide that's going on right now. Frederick Douglass had a great quote a while back. He said, I will work with anyone for good and no one for bad. And honestly, that's the way I feel right now as far as the parties go. If you are anti-war, if you are taking that money we're sending to the most corrupt country in Eastern Europe and funneling back into poverty in America and education and infrastructure and all the things we have going on right now that are a major problem. I am all for that. I am an America first person, and that's just the way I am. This is my country. I love it. And I have nothing against. I was saying earlier, the three things that people were worried about was illegal immigration, inflation, and oh shoot, am I missing a third one?
Immigration, inflation, and
not election integrity.
No, not election.
There's one more thing. Oh, education. Education. Parents are concerned about education.
I've always said it. You want to fix our government, the corruption that takes place? Obviously, it's a given. Ban stock trading by government officials and their spouses. And they're, obviously in 100 years, they'd have their brother and sisters trading for them, right? We'd have to change the law in the future. And you cap the salaries in the government at, reasonable 70, 80 grand a year jobs, a normal job cost. And then guess what you're going to get? You're going to get people that work in the government for their 6-year term or whatever it may be, actually wanting change. The intentions were never to have a career in our government. It was to go in there, create change for the better for this country, and move on with your day. But now we have people like Nancy Pelosi who literally have to, bobby pin her face back because like these people are so old, their faces are fault. Like that you could literally jump rope with these people's fucking face skin. Like it's hanging to the floor. Like these people are too old.
I know.
Like term limits, max salary, and that's all. If you have a 70 grand a year capped government position, no one's going to want to stay there. You go in there, you get real people who want real change, and then new people come in. And that's it.
Yep.
Real quick, I keep seeing Yuka what's up, girl? Does Yuka have a Cheez-It? He's got a Cheez-It addiction. Yuka's got a Cheez-It addiction, it looks like down here.
He might. Yuka? Yeah, he might have a
he
might have a Cheez-It addiction.
I know the feeling.
I wouldn't be shocked. He's a good man though. He's a good man. I'm a big fan of Yuka Fredo. Cape Cod Mama Ape says, hey Mass, how are you? How are you tonight? James says I made a good chunk off of Mullins a pump and dump. Yeah, Mullins a long way off, right, James? We got a long way to go before Mullins going to be really showing some big things. Listen, I just saw John Kerry come out the other day and say that this administration is looking to turn us away from ICE engines to be carbon-free by 2035. Which means that, and he was saying that we need to accelerate all of the, technology right now that is allowing us to move into this electrical field. And at the same time, they're running around begging the oil companies to produce more oil while at the same time saying they're trying to destroy them and end them by 2035. So I don't know what the incentive for the oil companies right now to pump up more gas when they can keep prices skyrocketing and by not refining more diesel and all those things. Why would they do that when they seems like they're on a limited time clock right now before their extinction? I would be trying to rake in every penny I can. So the midterms that might be good, maybe we'll see some policy change on that. But overall, as far as how it's going to affect my life, Scavenger life, our family's lives, our friends' lives, any of you guys on here listening right now, I don't think we are going to see a big change come until we get some stability back in the economy, and some people have some faith in the market. They have some faith in the people, and the leaders are in charge. Listen, we got to have a lot of incompetent people running right now. People who are not even afraid to tell you that your opinion on how you want your leaders to vote doesn't matter to them, or even if you try to chant them out and make them uncomfortable telling them you want them to go, they will start to mock and dance to your protest. The level of immaturity I'm seeing, and I'm kind of picking on the progressive now on the Democratic side, but it goes on all sides. This is not just a Democratic thing.
For sure.
It's just the two things I've seen in the very recent past. Now, if someone can pull me up, Lauren Boebert or Mark Green or someone else dancing while her constituents are yelling at her, or if you can show me, I don't know, I'm trying to think of someone else right now that's Tudor Dixon, let's say the woman went for, or Carrie Lake went for governor. If her constituents were coming out and saying they want to end to the Ukraine war, and she said, you don't get to tell vote when it comes to my feelings because of my past. Do you know how fast her heads would spin before heads would be spinning with the articles and the calls for her to be immediately taken out of the race? But when it comes to these progressive Democrats, for some reason, they are just allowed to get away with this, and it's not a big deal. And I'll bring it all the way back to the thing. How is it that this man, whose wife is the third in command of the entire country, is left unguarded by Capitol Police? The story makes no sense. NBC had to pull down their own news article on it, their own report, because it contradicted what the police report originally said. There is something crazy fishy going on right now. Whatever it is, I don't know. I'm not here to speculate. Me and Scav are talking about AMC
I love hearing
it.
I love hearing everything you have to say.
Yeah, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, right?
No, you're not. It's this all, believe it or not, coordinates with, believe it or not, the stock market, right? I'm from Michigan. It does. And I'm from Michigan, so I would like to think that my views are more, I'm very anti-politician in general, like I'd never, I would say my views are more conservative, but I'm not the kind of person who is the red pill, blue pill kind of guy. Like I'm here in Michigan, so obviously we have a Democratic governor, and I would love to run for governor, but I'd only last a day. I always tell people, because I'd be Epsteined the first day, because I'd be too real. But
do you like Whitmer?
You know what? I'm not a fan, but I think it's a shitty job, man. When you come into office, these governors promise all these things at the state level. Like, one thing Whitmer did horribly wrong that's going to come out is she promised, her campaigning was, Michigan roads are terrible with the winters we have, the salt we use. Our roads don't last, very, very long down here or up here, wherever you're from. And she came in promising, I'm going to fix the roads. That was her campaign quote, if you will. And she ended up using COVID money to fix the roads. So obviously all these states got these COVID grants and stuff because COVID happened. We didn't have the money, long story short, for her to fulfill these obligations that she ran her campaign off of. And that's a lot of times what happens with these states, right? You get a governor, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. And then they get in there and it's like, oh shit, we don't have a budget
Where's
because we
where
have
the
no money.
funding
We
from?
can't do this.
Right.
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 So, all these governors that are sitting in seats right now are all running their campaigns on, oh, well, we were able to obligate, to our obligatory campaign running, quotes, and the way they were able to do that is by being handed this COVID money. They literally used money that was supposed to be used on whatever it may have been COVID related, right? PPE, whatever it may have been. And they ended up using it to in areas that they weren't supposed to use it on. And you don't hear the news talk about that. It's highly against the law what they did. But basically, it's no different than me having a fake business, let's just say having a business, and I get a COVID grant, right, of $5 million, and I don't use it towards the business. I use it to get myself a house and go on vacations. Like, I'd go to fucking jail for that. But these state governors were able to allocate the money in other ways that were unethical, and the truth is going to come out on that. It really is. But obviously, as we both know, and I'm sure all the viewers know in here, that they can, because of the narrative that the news uses, they're able to funnel any piece of information that they want to funnel to us. So, truth or lie, they can tell us what they want to tell us with no repercussions of spreading false information. Um, and that's a shame, right? That's a shame that news medias can come out and defamate someone's character. They can state things that factually aren't true, yet when they screw up, they just move on and throw it under the rug. There's no repercussions for being wrong, for the pain and suffering that they caused on their viewers. And I think we'd be surprised. I think a lot less people watch the news now than what people think. I think news media on TV per se, on cable, is a dying breed. Most of the time, I don't know if it's like this for you, Mass, but most of the time, I've already read news on my phone off of Twitter before the news even reports it. Like, I already have the news in front of my face hours before they even get to it. So
Yeah.
it's a dying breed, in my opinion. And, it's hard to know exactly which side they're on, because back then it used to be non-biased, right? You'd have just reporting, right? And now it's not like that, because they're going to listen to who owns them, right? And if you are owned by Democrats, they're going to be on the Democrat side and shame Republicans. Or if you're, funded by Republicans, it's going to be the opposite. But news is predominantly owned by Democrats. Like, that's factual. So if you're a Republican, you're not going to get, you know, non-biased information, right? And that's just the facts. Like, not picking a side, but that's just the reality. And it's a shame, right, that we have to even second guess. I would call it propaganda over real news coverage, right? And really, that's where it comes into us doing things like this YouTube, and obviously, like, when it comes to AMC, because you have people like Charles Payne, right? I'm making money that talks about this play, but you don't have, none of these other news medias are talking about short selling, are talking about what's going on in the market, are talking about what retail investors are doing, because they're owned by the people that we're battling against. And it's a beautiful thing. It's insane. It really is insane. But people forget that we are in a battle with some very powerful people. And the last thing they want is a bunch of new millionaires running around that have boatloads of cash.
And a platform.
Because, and a platform, exactly. Exactly. It won't be long, I'm sure, before you or I have someone coming up and trying to cancel us. I've had threats. My Facebook is linked to my YouTube somehow, and I've had people send me direct messages like, "This is your last warning. If you keep making videos," it's like just horrible threats, and I'm like, dude, oh man,
Yeah.
oh,
I
somebody's
haven't
not
gotten
gonna
to that.
come walking out of here, and it's not gonna be me. I'm gonna be walking fine after. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
I
Sorry.
have I haven't had any threat, but I mean, if we're talking like plata y pluma, that's not even a decision for me.
Yeah.
You're gonna get smoked. But that's the whole reason why I try to keep a lower profile. I try not to get too crazy, only because I've seen that happen to other people getting doxxed and all those kind of things
Mm,
and swatted. And, not everyone agrees with my opinion. And I get that, right? I'm just one small voice out here that has some concerns. And I didn't start this channel to talk about politics. I started this channel to talk about AMC and my excitement that this looks like a really good play. And I think it's a no-brainer that we can get in this and make money as
mhm.
long as these clickbaiters aren't allowed to run wild. And then it took forever for my channel to grow, right? I mean, when you started your channel just months ago, right? And you have like what 2,000 more subscribers from me. I've had my channel
Oh, I
almost
don't
2
know
years,
how many.
and still I'm behind you by a subs. Congratulations, by the way. I think that's amazing, and that's fucking for you that you were able to do
Thank
that.
you.
Roseanne, good night. Good night. But I just I found that yeah, okay, maybe the information is going to be boring, and I'm not going to be able to tell people that, hey, listen, this has the possibility to go to 100K or 500 or $1 million based off of, some Al from Boston Excel spreadsheet that, he made up
Right.
with no documentation to back it, just something that he dreamed up and filled in the numbers and made it look good.
Yep.
And now he has this guy from Virtu coming on saying that, you know, you are ridiculous that you even bother to put out these videos. And we've been saying that for a long, long time. But he still comes out and defends it though, even after Virtu has said, "Hey man, I like you and everything, but really, this is not probably what you're gonna happen. What you think is not gonna happen." Now,
Yeah.
that's Virtu, one of the biggest scum people out there. So, do I listen to everything that he says and take it with a grain of salt? Yes. At the same time, the fact that he's even colluding with Al from Boston gives me poise, right? Gives me poise.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this, and like I said, I want everyone to know in here watching this that I'm speaking for myself, not for Massalorian or anybody else. I always speak for myself when I make statements like this. But um, Al from Boston, he could offer me $10,000 to come do a video with him, and I'd tell him to fuck off. And the reason for it is this thought process that I have. I understand not wanting to show your face for public safety, but wouldn't you think that if you weren't going to show your face, you wouldn't have a profile picture either? I could bet $1,000 right now to anyone who could prove me wrong that that face in his profile picture isn't really the same dude. Like, something shady about him. That's my thoughts. That's my own opinions. And quite frankly, and he called me out on his last live. People came into my comment and told me he called me what was the name? They came in and told me on my it was that one. He had a bunch of people in there. And the people that were in there, Common Sense Investor was in there. I watched Common Sense Investor, like no shame on them for being in there. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
he called me. He's like some sort of supermodel. Like I don't know. I think he was trying to call me cute without, whatever it was. It was weird. But I don't trust Al from Boston. I think he's a fucking lie. He's never showed his face. His comments are shut off on everything. Like he's a scam. Um, and that's just my opinion. I'm not afraid to come out and say that. And if I, you know, prove me wrong or don't prove me wrong. I don't really care. But the reality is, you know, a lot of these people don't like me, like him, or like these big players, OGs on Twitter, because I've called them out. Like, Mass, you know just as well as I do. Look at how many of these, you know, women influencers on Twitter got a bunch of people subscribed through OnlyFans, and guess what? They ran for the hills because they made their money off you, and that was it. You look at trades, like, sure, I feel bad for the guy, but he made his fucking millions off you. Now he's gone. You have Matt Kors who does daily videos, and his freaking YouTube channel is dying, and now he's scrambling because he has nowhere to go other than his YouTube channel. And this is everything to him. Like, I don't know if you watch his content, but he's talking about shit that it's just stupid. It's cringy. Like, when he laughs, it's a fake forced laugh, and it's like I honestly want to throw up watching it. It's so cringy.
Who do you mean specifically?
Who am I talking about?
Yeah, specifically.
Oh, right now, Matt Kors. He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sorry if anybody in here likes him, but the guy from New York's a loser too. But like all these people, but Matt Kors like has this fake laugh that he forces out, and it's like cringy. Like, oh my god, I don't even know how people watch him, but they do. So good for him. But um, the matter of the fact is, my thoughts on it. You just have these YouTubers who, you know, join my level up Discord. You're going to get ripped without having to go to the gym and work out. Like, these people that are these people are running out of options because this is everything they have. Their YouTube is everything that they have. They've left everything and have, for being, you know, investor YouTube channels, like kind of a foolish investment to quit, you know, to make YouTube your full income. And like, I'm not denying anyone who wants to make YouTube full time, but these people rode the clout. They in less than 6 months they quit their job and did YouTube full time, and their channels are dead now. There's no denying it. Their channels are dead. You know, and there's a reason for that, because their YouTube channels were full of bot followers, which is a probability, or people just realized, holy shit, these people are full of shit, they're liars, and stopped watching them. I mean, when you have, like, it's not all about the views, Mass, because some videos do good, some videos do bad. But when you have 44,000 to 350,000 subscribers, and you can't even pull 1,000 views per video, like, what the fuck is that ratio? You know, what you start pinpointing, like, why is this? And there's a reasoning for that. And you know, what are we looking at here?
So with Chain Luffy, the only reason was that he happens to YouTuber who's widely successful, way more successful than me. I'll just say, I can promise you, if you look at my social blade, we're not going to see these red numbers. Now, directly correlate that to only that very clear for that Lewis side video. I just saw the comment in the chat using Lou for cloud, and you should
No way.
be in. Yeah, I don't know. Day is helping me out in any way, shape, or form. My only, if you want to bullshit, that's fine. You want to bullshit people? Nope. Okay.
No, you're here. It's a little choppy, but
Did I
it's
lose
getting
you guys?
better. It's clearing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say this, but you know, the more this drags on and I see what's going on, and maybe I'm not going to save the world, and I'm not out here trying to save the world, right? I'm just trying to help my little space that I have here, this little platform, to try to bring as much transparency and truth to this play and to the world itself. And when I see someone who has taken such a dramatic downfall in the last 3 to 4 months, losing 8,000 subscribers, which is more than I've ever gained in my entire career on here, losing that much in the last 2 months, I think that speaks volumes onto what people are seeing. I'm not going to say all those people are smart or dumb or whatever, but clearly there is a movement happening that's starting to change. I think some people are starting to wake up to the fact that there are no specific dates that anyone can tell you. There are no specific brackets or price targets or anything like that. When this thing happens, it's going to happen. And until then, I am just hanging on to my shares, and I'm looking for other ways to make money right now, whether that's, making a small or writing an OTC play, whatever it is. I haven't been able to do that recently because of the move and this new studio. I mean,
Studio's
family's starting to
beautiful.
get comfortable.
Studio's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. Like and that, the whole thing about the studio was not about trying to purvey or trying to put on this persona of like super wealth or anything like that. Like, my background to me more says about who I am and what this channel represents. Like, we're a worldwide thing. Therefore, I'm putting the world on it. I believe in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence as being 3 of the most important documents ever written by mankind besides the Bible. And I just, I have faith in this system. But unfortunately, the people who are at the top, who are running everything, are not doing it out of the best interest of their constituents. And that's our problem.
Hey, real quick, guys, there's 200 people in here. Let's get this thing up. Jay's 22B just had 139 out of 169 likes. So for the people watching, if you could give it a like, get him up to 169. I want him to sleep good tonight. All right, go ahead.
Wait, it's not November, dude. Don't do it. I don't want to hit 69 or anything like that, bro. I don't know numbers like that. No.
168.
No,
come on.
We're 6 days in. I'm doing good. Somebody challenged me to it the other day, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, yeah, I got some time. All right. So I'm gonna try to pull this off. Have you indulged in that, Andrew, or no? Did I just say Andrew? Sorry.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrew. No, just kidding. If you guys are wondering who I am, I'm Andrew. I have not indulged in that. But I didn't know November was a thing. I thought it was always No Shave November. And but I think I could get along with that. I might need, a 2-day amnesty, but 2-3-day amnesty, but
what the hell? We can't give you a 2-day amnesty. Jesus.
Oh, jeez. But
changing the rules already.
Oh, Tony says, wait, your real name is a Scavenger? It's not. No, it is. My real name is Scavenger. He just got it wrong.
Scavenger's a paid crisis actor for
who said what's that?
For many stocks. Appreciate you, buddy. What's that? Tony?
What about the good old number of 666? That's not a good number. 666 isn't a good number. I don't like that number at all. Come on, break the algo.
We closed out the other day. Yeah, I think 666 we closed down the other day, right?
566. Oh, well, maybe with Ape included.
No, 566.
Yeah. When I look at AMC's pricing, I don't go through. I know some people go through and add Ape and AMC together, but I just treat them like 2 different stocks now.
2 different stocks.
Personally,
yeah.
I mean, I do, because at the end of the day, when it comes to that point of, you have the choice, you can sell one and hold one, or like they're 2 different stocks.
Yeah, you got it.
Which is actually an amazing thing, because it's really a neat, like I've thought about this numerous times. Sorry, I'm talking about. I'm excited.
You're good.
I've thought about it numerous times. How cool would it be if Ape runs first, right? let's just say ape runs to $500 or $600, and you can sell that and still, or you could roll all that into AMC or whatever you decide to do. But it's kind of a neat thing that could occur here, right? Because you know, there's decisions to be made instead of, AMC ripping and then you have to make a 100%, decision. Now you can kind of split it up and go, okay, ape ran this day, I can sell this, but now I don't have to be fully obligated to closing my entire position because, I still have my AMC that's going to short squeeze also. So it's like almost two guaranteed short squeeze plays at this point. And I only say that because, the original ape shares that came out to the market went directly to the retail investors. So any shorting that took place with ape, sure, you had people like Ranch Capital sell whatever, sell their fucking 200 shares, whatever. But we're in a situation where it's the same as AMC, retail owns a float. So all the shorting that's taking place is naked shorting, right? It's borrowed shares that have been shorted. It's not. They both can definitely short squeeze, even with the dilution in ape. It still can short squeeze because if AMC drops 100 million ape shares, that's only whatever it is, 1/5 of the flow or whatever it is. I can't do the math right now, but of 516 million. But they can both squeeze, and it'd be neat if they both didn't squeeze at the same time, so that way you have the time to mentally process what's taking place. Because in the time when you see those run-ups occur, like, it's going to be very mentally difficult to control two running stocks at the same time. So I don't know, just if they could be a couple weeks apart or a couple months apart, I think that would be phenomenal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
GFAM just wants to say thank you, my friend, for making that donation. I appreciate you a lot, man. It really helps to paying these bills and making all this work that we put into it worth it. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you. J22B says, yeah, guys, love from Australia, 5th generation convict ape here. Hey, man, we love you, Jace. Tony says, wait, your real name isn't Scavenger? Scavenger. You like
Tony,
Scav?
real quick, dude. Tennessee is, like, I've said it from the start. Tennessee is like the most beautiful state that I've ever seen in my entire life. I haven't been to all 50 states, but
I
like,
love it.
oh my God. I went to
I
Gatlinburg
love
and
Tennessee.
Pigeon Forge and stuff. Oh, I'm gonna go out there for Christmas. I'm gonna go out there for Christmas. I'm gonna stay in a hotel in Gatlinburg for 5 or 6 days, and just during Christmas it's all lit up and stuff, and I need to get out and do something. But
yeah, it's a good time. Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, anywhere from like that Knoxville to Nashville line there that you got to go through to get that huge knife store that they got there. That thing's crazy. Ever been there?
I
Giant
didn't.
knife store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't go to the one, so I haven't been to that one in Tennessee, but I've seen videos and stuff of it. When I went there, I only went for like a week, so obviously I only got to see so much. But next time I do go, I do want to go to Nashville because I'm such a big dive bar fan, like those old hole in the wall, like historical bars. So, which I'm sure Tony's enjoying right now, but there's just so much of it to see. Like, one of the coolest things were like those alpine roller coasters or whatever you want to call them on the side of the roads, like on the highways, like on the mountains. Dude, they're like sketchy as hell, but just fun. But yeah, I'd love to go out there. So
yeah, that's a good time down there. Nashville, that Gatlinburg area, Knoxville is a good time, and some of the most prettiest girls I've ever seen.
So don't go down there in November.
All right,
what I'm hearing.
Don't go there in November.
Don't go there in November.
Okay. James Harris says, all right, time for bed. Peace out, everyone. James Harris, have a good night. Cape Cod Mama Abe says, why would you say that's a good number when you know it's an evil number? Nobody likes that number. What number, Cape Cod Mama? What number are we talking about?
That was the 666 number. The devil's number.
Oh, I think he was being sarcastic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's being sarcastic.
Man, we're really getting close to these 169 likes. Massalorian might break his streak here tonight if we can hit
Are we
that
getting close?
169 number. We need. We're only like 10
14.
likes away, 14 likes away. There's 14 people in here that haven't liked the stream yet. And if you know, just saying.
Yeah, I got close. Jay's 22B says he's gonna unsub if we don't get 106, and I cannot afford one more unsub right now. Man, rough 60 days, really has. Absolutely continuously breaking us. God damn it! Is that across the board, guys? Does everyone? Can you just put a 1 in the chat if I am constantly breaking up on audio, please? Because I gotta get this figured out immediately. Before I go any further, can you please just put a 1 in the chat?
I don't know, Massive, with your YouTube videos, but I'll have it where I completely get a YouTube video put out and it'll say no stream or whatever, and people will be like, no sound, and I literally have to delete the video, and I'm like, really, YouTube? Like, this is, and it takes like 45 minutes for a video to upload to YouTube, it seems like. It's funny.
I know.
Yeah, it sounds great right now. What was the 1 for? For good audio or bad?
No, bad.
Oh. 1 was bad. Oof.
It's not good. All right. Let's keep going here. I saw Relentless in the chat. My friend Relentless, how you doing, Don? Let's see. I was going to Gatlinburg. I'm professional. Said Massachusetts.
Oh, Massachusetts. Okay.
Oh, I was born and raised in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm in Rhode Island. I just moved from New Hampshire to Rhode Island. So.
Okay. I actually am from New York.
Yeah.
My family still lives out in New York, so not too far out of the way. But no.
What part of NY?
Oswego. It's like
Oswego.
I don't know if you know. Do you know where? You know where that's at? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oswego.
Not the city. That's for sure. Just a little college town, you know. But.
Yep. I think they got a brewery up there too, don't they? Oswego has their own brewery, don't they?
Yeah, the in Oswego, yeah. They have like they do like this fireworks show out there every year too, but I haven't been out there in years, to be honest. I just you know, just do my thing here in Michigan. I've been too busy in AMC.
Up in Michigan, I got a good guy. Forrest Bradley is one of my subscribers who's up in Michigan. Big guy's been with me for a long time. So,
dude, that's been the cool thing.
He might be on your channel too.
Seeing people like I'm sure you went through the same thing, but seeing people like when you do a video or whatever, like, and they're like, "Oh my god, like I'm only an hour away from you," or whatever. Just neat that, you know. I am from Rochester, Michigan. I'm not going to give you the direct address because I don't want hate mail coming in. But I'll give you a P.O. box if you want to send me some Christmas Target shopping cards. Just kidding.
GD shenanigans. Lots of fellow Massos in here. Good stuff. Yeah, I too tend to get a couple Massos. I get a lot of people from the left coast though, because I went to school out in California, spent a lot of time out there. That's how I met Pam the trader.
Okay.
Was
so you California. Know Pam personally?
We have crossed paths before. We used to be members, and she was a member of a place where salsa dancing lessons were taken on at a hotel bar that I used to work at. So back during that time, we didn't know each other per se, but we were in the same building almost every weekend for a couple of years in a row. Yeah, I just can't pinpoint her face, obviously. I'm
mass served drinks to Pam.
I didn't overserve, just served. Massalorian, your peeps probably didn't hear about the Gatlinburg fire, which was pretty bad. Look it up. That just happened recently.
I'll take the fanny pack. Let's
Gatlinburg
go. Somebody said they'll send me a Matt Kors fanny pack. I'll wear it.
Can you imagine?
Dude.
Oh yeah, there was a big
Oh
fire.
boy. And Gatlinburg, yeah.
You have pack? You don't have
No,
a
I'm saying
fanny
if
pack,
someone
do
wants
you?
to send me a Matt Kors fanny pack, I'll
Oh,
wear it, I guess.
buy a share of ape instead of a fanny pack.
So I actually I upped my AMC position on, I forgot if it was Thursday or Friday now, but I told myself my position was where I wanted it to be for a long time now, for months now, and then seeing it this low on Thursday or Friday, I'm like, all right, so brought the I brought the position up more. I couldn't refuse these prices, you know. But not saying everyone else should do that, but I made a promise to myself that I had my position where I wanted it to, but I broke my rules and I built the position up just because you know, these prices are just too. It's a Black Friday sale. I feel like, you know, I don't know.
I mean, they're crazy low right now.
They are.
If it's gonna take 5 to 6 months for this thing to run up, as soon as I have a little extra more cash, there's no doubt in my mind I'm gonna pick up some more shares because I know
Hmm.
where this can go.
Yeah.
Just this whole thing, and I've been saying this to everyone. Like people have been asking me, like, "Mass, are you getting over here? Are you picking up?" And I'm like, guys, I have put so much time, money, and effort into this move and getting over here. And, you know, I understand a lot of people don't understand probably, but I downsized, right? I went from a place where I lived by myself, a 1-bedroom apartment in the middle of downtown in a really swanky area that had nice bars and like I had 2 nice bars I lived right on top of, to move to a worse part of town in a different state, just because it was going to allow me and afford me to be able to focus more of my time on doing this, researching different stories and keeping the world, and especially my subscribers in particular, informed on what's going on, whether it's geopolitics, you know, what's going on in the economy right now, that the Pakistani prime minister was just attempted assassination on. All these different things have consequences. And whenever we can bring truth to the masses, and this is the reason why mainstream media is dying a slow and painful death,
Hmm.
is because no one trusts them anymore. And
Absolutely.
you know, and people are looking for those voices that are out there who, yeah, maybe they swing one way or the other on the political spectrum, but they're not out there gaslighting you. They're not preaching to you. They're just saying, hey man, listen, this is what's going on, and you make your opinion on what you want to do. And the same can be said for the stock market. Look, if you want to get into GTI, first thing on Monday morning, at, you know, whatever it closed out today, $3.40, and hope that it rides back up to $8 again, I would say go for it. You know, there's no one stopping you. I'm not going to stop you.
Oh hell
What I
no. Go
also
ahead.
would say, what I also would say is if you go in on Monday morning buying GTI at 340 and waiting for it to hit triple digits, don't hold your breath. And
I gotta
that's it.
acknowledge just one comment real quick. And Massalorian, I want to
Go
get
for it.
your honest opinion on
Sure.
it, non-biased opinion.
You're always going to
So
get that from me.
don't feel bad for me, okay? So I want you to take a look at my face real quick. And this comment says, "Scavenger looks like a Walmart Mr. Beast."
Where's that?
That's
Who
down
wrote it? Oh,
below.
I see it. I see it. I
What do
see
you
it.
think? Let us know
Scavengers
in the
like a
comments. Do I look like
Walmart.
a Walmart
So
Mr.
what would
Beast?
that mean? A cheap
A
Mr. Beast, a
cheap version,
knockoff
like a Wish version of
of
Mr.
Mr.
Beast,
Beast?
an
Uh,
eBay
I think
copy.
you I think you resemble him physically a little bit, right? The appearance of your face. I wouldn't say Walmart. Maybe like Gucci Mr. B.
Oh, all right. So we're upgrading a little bit. A Walmart version. That's snooping low.
I'll go with a Gucci version. You're the Gucci version of Mr. Beast.
Well, I
No, I
appreciate
don't.
that.
Just but from the physical features. okay, yeah, I can understand that. But as far as anything else, yeah, Tony says a Mr. Beast reference is a win. Take it.
I guess. Can I
Seriously,
have some
take
of
it,
his money though,
take it.
too? Come on.
That's what I need, right? That's what I need. Cape Cod. Yes, this is by far the best community on YouTube. I had to take a break because I lost so much money. I had depression. I don't know if I can have Christmas for my kids. Cape Cod Mama Ape. I know. I was wondering where you went, hon. Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, look, everyone's portfolio is down right now. For those out there who are saying they're hitting one play after another and they're making stacks over here and they got to get ready for the next stack. There's a lot of nonsense going on there. Don't think you were the only one right now that is hurting. I've seen my portfolio drop significantly. And especially with this move, not being able to capitalize on any of these little OTC plays that came out. Not that I might have ever done that in the first place anyways, but it definitely didn't allow me the ability to do that. So just keep on trucking, girl. That's all I got to say. And we got you back.
You got this. And if you honestly need any help, like if you're worried, you can DM me on Twitter. I like to help as much as I can. So, somebody, you could go
Scavenger, your YouTube channel. Why don't you?
Huh?
What?
Oh, and someone just said Scavenger looks like Tony Dinero.
Just saying, what's your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's just Scavenger AMC. I'll
a young Tony
next
Dinero.
time yeah. Next time we go live, I'll put it in here. I'm not gonna put it in so next time Massalorian goes live, you guys can be like, hey, what was that one guy you were live with? And then talking about me, will get me back on here with him again. And it's a little strategy move, you know. Scavenger does look a bit like my oldest son, but no, we are not related. Yeah. Tony Dinero told me to tell you guys we're not related. So just kidding. We're not really
related. Got it. Got it. Jay's 22B says 203 watching, 169 likes. We just broke an algo on YouTube. I love every one of you sick apes. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
What does that mean? Broken algo? Is there something I don't know?
I think that's a joke.
Oh,
yeah.
So
I think it's a joke.
We hit your numbers. You hit your numbers. See on mine.
Yeah, we'll take that 168. Right?
Oh, there it is. 169. Let's go. Cool.
Let's see here. Wisconsin. It doesn't matter. It says Wisconsin here also portfolio down, but holding strong. Doesn't matter. Right on, bro. We are all down, right? The whole entire market is down unless you exited out months ago. Everyone is down right now. Exactly. But again, guys, just keep in mind that the market runs in cycles, right? So we are going to be going from a low point to a high point to a low point to a high point. This is not, and when I talk about the Federal Reserve pumping all of that money and Pete Buttigieg coming out and saying, well, if we hadn't spent all that money, the economy would have collapsed. And, you know, the more I go back to it, the more I see now them calling for amnesty on the lockdowns and the mandates. Yep. And it's like, no. You fucking people knew. You knew that this was a leaky vaccine. You knew the mandates weren't going to do anything, and you knew you couldn't mandate your way of it. Yet you still pushed the narrative. You put people out of work. You lost businesses. You printed all this money for people to sit home on their ass and do nothing. And basically, it very possibly could have cost Trump the election because of all the hoopla that was going on at that point. And what happened? What did we get out of it? What, a $600 and a $1,200 check out of the trillions of dollars that were printed?
That took weeks to vote on. Weeks to vote on that when we can send, money to, I'm not just going to say anywhere
Ukraine
specific, wherever.
24
but
hours. Yeah.
But, and that's, I'm going to say something right now that's going to be breaking news that no one's ever heard, Mass. So you get the privilege to have it set on your channel. I'm not COVID vaxxed, guys. And that's the news. I didn't get the Fauci ouchie. I've had the Wuhan flu 2 times. I've had COVID, and that's why I didn't get the vaccine, but, um, I didn't get the government microchip. So that's it, Mass. That's the breaking news.
All right. I just wanted to give you a full screen. Okay. All right.
That's
I
it.
hope, honestly, I hope that, you know, with the XX decks, I hope it has nothing to do with if you got the jab or not. But I'm in the same boat with you, buddy. I feel comfortable taking that. Look, if they get it down to a place where it is a proven vaccine that actually does what a vaccine is supposed to do, which is stop the transmission, which is to bring down some of the symptoms, which is to protect other people from being able to get it from
Right.
you. If
Right.
there's something like that comes along, I would be totally up for taking it, right? Once we have some tests, some trials to see how does it affect someone like me who already has pre-existing medical conditions. I have no idea because they didn't do any human trials,
Yep.
right? And if I do take it and something happens to me, happened to many people who got long COVID, or Jimmy Dore who has neck pains now, or my father and mother who look like they are about to die since they took the COVID vaccine and the boosters. Whatever the case may be, I think that it's going to be a while until we know exactly how detrimental this was to a lot of people.
Right.
And big pharma pushed this narrative. They went out and smeared doctors who were against the lockdowns and the mandates. And, you know, I got to keep this low right now because my roommate's next door, but he came home. He had a meeting today with one of the people, his kids' teachers at school. And they said that his son, who is, 9 years old, has the reading level of a 4-year-old. And I said, what did they say that would be the contributing factor to that? And I said, I'm just guessing out here. Let me just spitball and say that the last 2 years of having no in-classroom training or schooling has probably really put him and that entire generation behind. And especially if you already have learning disabilities to start with, this certainly never helped anyone in that situation. And they knew this stuff. Sweden did this off the bat. Sweden never closed down, and their numbers showed that it wasn't a problem. And they are still making actors in Hollywood to this day still can't come onto a film set without being vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, something weird just happened. I just want to, you probably seen my face kind of doing this, and I was looking down at the time, not in any rush for anything, but it was 2 a.m. here, just moments ago, and we just sprung back to 1 a.m.
Yes, we
The time
fell
change.
back.
I forgot, so we're good. We're good to go, baby. We're losing time here. We're gaining time. And
So
I
is
just
it
thought that was
really?
weird. Isn't that strange how that works? We just time traveled, Mass.
Was today daylight savings time?
Yeah.
No, it
Yep.
was
November 6th.
all
Yep.
right.
So we just time traveled back in time. So when we got
I
to do it
wonder
with
if we
everyone
missed a
watching.
MOAS.
We
Did
may
we miss the
have.
MOAS?
We may have.
I'll be really bullshit. I'll be really bullshit if we missed the MOAS during that.
Yep. We'll have to wait for spring back
I'm going to say
forward.
more thing about this because because of what 1786 Patriot said. So I'll never forget back in March of 2021, there was a guy in England who was on the street and he was screaming and yelling. A couple people had recorded him, and my cousin had actually sent me the clip. And he was screaming and yelling at the top of his lungs, saying that these shutdowns were a major mistake. This is not, this is before the 2 week to stop the curve, right? The spread of the curve. He went on and was yelling in the middle of the streets. I don't think it was Piccadilly Square, but it was somewhere in that area there. And I remember my cousin saying, "Do you think this guy is a whack job?" And I said, "Only time will tell." Right. And now looking back at it, that word pandemic, if you believe in all the conspiracy theories, which to me aren't conspiracy theories anymore, that they want to change this whole thing into a one world government with a CBDC, a digital that's meant to control ESG scores and keep an eye on what you're purchasing, what you're buying. I believe that none of that is a conspiracy anymore because they continue to harp on the same message over and over and over again. So at some point, you got to stop calling it a conspiracy theory. Just call it what it is. It's the World Economic Forum's manifesto and plans for the future. And they've infiltrated the cabinets to get it agended.
I think people have a habit of calling something they don't agree with conspiracy theories now, right? I think we've kind of gotten towards that, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we're starting to see that a lot of these conspiracy theories, because I'm one of them, right? I've always been a conspiracy. I mean, I would label myself as a conspiracy theorist, and I would say that because I'm someone who's just more open minded to all the information that I retain, rather than building a bias thought on it, right? I like to hear everything. Like, I remember we'd be sitting in the car late at night or whatever, talking about like aliens and stuff. And I was like, 15 years old, 16 years old. And I loved just hearing what everybody had to say about it. And like, now you see like these conspiracy theories, right? That you are being called a conspiracy theorist and wrong and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're starting to see facts, right? Like AMCers, people that are invested in AMC. We were conspiracy theorists 2 years ago. Guess what? Everything we've been talking about as conspiracy theorists are facts. And we just got labeled a conspiracy theorist because it was going against the narrative of fucking Wall Street. Corrupt Wall Street. I posted it on Twitter, Mass. You wouldn't have seen it because we just subscribed. I just followed you, but
which is bullshit, by the way.
I know. That is bullshit.
I'm just kidding.
I agree.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, why didn't you follow me? No, but it's like I posted yesterday that, or it was maybe Friday. I'm losing track of time. This whole fucking spring back an hour is screwing me up now. Just kidding. But I think short selling companies should be against the fucking law. Like, and I know I'm jumping off topic here, but shorting companies should be against the law. There's no reason, rather, the news or Wall Street want to tell you, oh yeah, shorting's good for our economy. Anytime you short a company, you're shorting pensions, you're shorting retirement, you're not just shorting that company, you're shorting the people who have no choice but to invest in it, because the reality is you can't build a retirement just working a fucking job in this country. Like, that's the reality.
Yep.
Oh, well, 401k. Okay, well, 401k is stock market. Like, you can't, like, the stock market is the only thing we have standing in between us from being broke or having financial freedom someday. And these fucking companies are allowed to come in and smash their fucking foot down on the little cockroaches we are and take it from us without any reasoning. And they can manipulate the price to do whatever they want with it. They can alter the rules, whatever they want to alter them with it, and they can walk away with billions of our dollars every year, and nobody stops them. And it's asinine. And I said in the tweet, as an American, I'm fucking over it. I'm not standing for it. I'm not allowing it anymore. There's a reason countries are kicking companies like Citadel out of their stock market entirely, because these companies come in here and short these companies and manipulate the price to move. Like, nobody can explain what a dark pool even is. Like, how pathetic is that? Oh, well, dark pools are unregulated. Are you serious right now? So what you're telling me is they can basically have a completely different stock exchange that they put all the buying pressure and shares through, and basically have a drug deal, non-regulated, like cartel style trade take place without anybody knowing what's really going on there. Like, that is some of the most pathetic shit that I've ever heard in my entire life. And it's part of my language, but it's like, Gary Gensler can't even tell us what happens in these dark pools. Like, what is a dark pool? And why is the dark pool that our AMC buys are going to are owned? That dark pool is owned by the company shorting AMC. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like that, it's like mind blowing shit. Like that is like it's like just unbelievable that that is even a thing. Like a dark pool, it's like I owe you $10, Mass. I like to do analogies for people. I owe you $10, Mass. So you're sitting over there. Scav, where's my $10? All right, Mass, send you your $10. I just sent it to you, and you're like, Scav, I didn't get $10. Well, I sent it to you in the dark pool. So legally you got it, even though you're saying you didn't get it. Like, but I sent it
Just
to
send it
you.
on Cash App.
Right.
Cash App if you really want to root me.
Well, I did
Messing with
send it
you.
to you. It just went through the dark pool, like
Right,
the
right,
unregulated dark
right.
pool. Like that's something that is a major problem, and we know that this is a way. I don't care what your thoughts are. If it, well, I do care, but I don't care. Like if it comes down to naked shorting or synthetics or any of that. The reality is the root of all these problems in AMC is this manipulation and corruption is taking place in a whole separate market that nobody even knows what the fuck it is. No one even knows what really happens there. No one knows the buyer, no one knows the seller. It just happens in a place that is owned by the people trying to bankrupt AMC. Like, how is that even possible for that to occur? And that's why we do these videos, because it's like this shit is happening. And before AMC, nobody even knew this stuff took place or was a thing. You know, we thought dark pools were a place where an institution could come through and buy a big amount and get it at a wholesale price, right? So they're not battling the supply and demand issue, which even in that
Right.
situation, that
Not
shouldn't be
causing huge
allowed.
fluctuations.
Right.
Right, but
But
not
but
causing
even in
huge
that
fluctuations.
Right. But even in
Yep,
that situation,
yep,
why does an
yep.
institutional investor get that opportunity? They should have to buy it market just like everybody else. You know what I mean? If I have $10 million to invest in a stock, I'm not going to be able to buy it through a dark pool. So why does an institution with 5 million get to buy it through a dark pool? It's their little inside secret
Right.
handshake jobs, and it's asinine. It really is. But I'll let you take the mic here so I can hear your thoughts on it. I'm getting onto a rant, but
Well, I was gonna say I remember Charles Payne coming out about 6 months ago, and he was talking about, how there really is no need for the shorts because eventually all bad companies and what they are doing behind the scenes eventually comes to light. And
mhm,
until, you're everything is a gamble and a risk, and I get that, right? Um, but there's no need to purposely go out and try to destroy companies.
right.
And the only thing I'm saying is, and I'm basing this off Charles Payne's assessment that just like everything else, darkness eventually comes into the light and you see, right?
Yep.
And this is what good. Good.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I just said, yep, agreeing with exactly what you're saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. There's just no there. I don't find any benefit to shorting American companies,
Right.
unless they're complete garbage, right? But if it's coming, starting company, they're trying to raise some capital, they're, have an IPO coming out, and maybe the idea is good, some good people behind it. How does that help us by a shortcoming, someone coming along, shorting the hell out of it, trying to drive it into oblivion? Just that's never good for the US for US companies. It's not good. And when you add on it the nefarious part that Wall Street is playing with the hit pieces and the lawsuits and the false information, you add all that on top of it, you can destroy a totally legit company just out of greed for profit, right?
Absolutely.
So that's
100%
and
right.
that's been Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
And that's kind of
sickening.
been my stand on it for a while. Yeah, it is sickening. It is sickening.
I
It is
mean,
sickening. And the fact we're able, good.
no, I'm just saying I'm touching on exactly what you just said. I mean, yeah, just like that comment you just put up. He failure to deliver your $10
My
mass.
$10.
Yeah,
That's Adrian being
which is
wise.
perfectly legal. It's perfectly legal. By
That's
the way,
right.
guys. So, but yeah, isn't that's a whole nother topic on itself. These FTDs. FTDs, guys, remember where FTDs are originated. They're originated from options. Okay. So you have people can sell options too, right? If I have AMC shares, then I can sell call or put options on my shares, right? But I
Mhm.
can, but market makers are selling the most amount of options, right? And what's taking place is another analogy for you. It'd be like me selling Massalorian a truck. I have the title here. He pays me 30 grand for my truck. And then I look at Massalorian and say, well, thanks for your 30 grand, but we can't deliver you that truck right now. We're going to failure to deliver on it. And these
Yeah.
people are allowed to FTD. They're allowed to sell something that they automatically know at the beginning when they've created that contract to sell it. More specifically on a company like AMC where shares aren't available, right? They know when they're creating these options that they're not going to be able to settle on them when they expire in the money. So you're literally selling something that you know off the start you're not going to be able to deliver on, yet they're still allowed to sell them. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane. That's crazy. That's unreal. That's unbelievable. Like, you can't, I mean, touch on that mass, but like maybe I'm missing something, but I mean,
No, I think you're right on with that. I think you're right on with that. Just like JC33 says, if I FTD my electrical bill, I don't have T90 to pay it
right,
back. They shut it off.
right.
You know?
And then what
Excellent
happens
point.
after T90? These companies at T90, what do? They still don't cover.
Still
They
don't
get a
cover. Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
They pay a fine.
yeah.
So if you
I
have a
saw someone did an
$200,
I,
go ahead.
I saw someone do a video on that earlier saying like
Yeah.
T90 is back in place, and it's like whoop de fucking do. What's that gonna do? We've seen that a million times. T90
Yeah.
in place, done absolute jack shit.
Yeah. You get people all amped
So
up and geeked out. Oh, September 15th, T plus 90, they have to cover all the ape. No, they fucking don't. Sorry for me saying
no,
that word. I'm trying not to swear. I try to keep it together.
it's all good.
Um,
It's all
but
good.
no, they don't. They don't have to cover on that. After T plus 90, guess what they do? They pay a fine for not covering or for not
Yep.
covering those failure to delivers. That's it. And that's why we're in this, and that's why we talk about this to get change, right? I mean, that's the biggest problem, right there. They don't have to cover at T plus 90, and you have a lot of these influencers who try to convince everybody certain days because of T plus 90, and it's a sham. If T plus 90 was real and they stuck to it, this would have been done 6 months ago, 12 months ago.
Well, yes,
They're just
exactly.
digging deeper, which does make this play bigger, right? The worse this gets, the bigger it gets. We have to remember that. But
If
it's
we
gonna
can
come to
force
a
them to
point,
close, yeah.
right, right. I mean, it's insane. I mean, what we're seeing right
They
now
got
is
it.
obviously there's shorts taking the debt of other shorts, right? We see these banks like Credit Suisse failing. Let's just look at Melvin Capital, right? Melvin Capital closed its fund, right? Probably opened up as a new one,
Hmm.
but you have to remember he didn't cover any of the shorts. Otherwise, we would have seen that reflect in the price. So what probably happened is a company like Citadel, the hedge fund, came through and bought those short positions from Melvin Capital to keep this freaking thing running. That's They just keep passing it on, right? And then the one with the most money just keeps building this short position, because if Melvin Capital would have covered their GameStop short position when they failed, GameStop would have ran into the thousands, but somebody took those shorts, in my opinion, from Melvin. That's the only possible scenario that I see, is somebody took on that debt, somebody much bigger. If Melvin Capital truly closed the doors. Now, it is entirely possible that Melvin Capital closed Melvin Capital and opened up a new fund and just transferred everything over to that fund at a name that no one would recognize, right? Which is a likely scenario too. But who knows? I don't.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I hear you. I'm just curious. Do you have any faith in? Do you have any faith in politicians being able to turn this around to try to get laws into place
No,
to start fixing these things? No, right?
no,
You don't have any, right?
I
Zero
don't.
faith.
And I don't
So,
want that to sound like a, here's the thing, we can vote in politicians that back us, right? That say they're gonna create change, but we have to remember that this goes to the highest bidder. I'm just trying to be a realist here, Mass. Like, these politicians that are
yeah,
getting elected are being funded by the people, by the institutions, by the hedge funds, by the market makers that are committing the crimes. Like, they may have a good heart at first and want to create change and want to make things better, but at the end of the day, they find out who's funding them and they have to shut up. I mean, so I think that people are powerful in numbers, and I truly think the change we're looking for is just going to be by people like us, all of us in here tonight, being awake to what's currently taking place and then just burning them down. That's literally as simple as it gets. We don't have to do anything. We just stay awake, stay stay in it, and they're burning themselves alive. They're losing money. That's the last thing they want to do, is lose money. And then eventually it's going to come to the point where they start picking themselves off because they don't want to fail. So and so doesn't want to fail. So what do? They're going to go into war with themselves. They already are. There was just that one guy on Twitter. I don't have the document in front of me, but um, a big investor in Archegos Group who literally came out last week and threw a bunch of people in Archegos under the frickin' boat. Like, they're literally jabbing at each other, just taking each other down. Like, I mean, it's so I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think AMC is going to be swept under the rug like Epstein's client log, right? I think this is too noisy to shut down. Um, there's money tied up in this. This has a way bigger impact on the economy than I think a lot of people understand, and I just don't see any way of them getting out of this. Um, Fatty from New York stated that they covered ape at $1.70. No, they didn't. That's just unfactual. It's a lie. There's no possible way that could have taken place.
bro,
You
trust
know.
me, bro. They did. Trust me, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, it's just the stupidity. It's just stupid. I say things that are wrong sometimes too, but that to say
Me too.
something,
Me
you
too.
know,
All the
to
time.
state something
All the
like
time.
that. Just the other night on your stream, I said something. I mistyped and said something, and Tony corrected me or whatever. But it happens all the time. Fat finger, just type quick or don't think before I say something. That happens sometimes. I won't lie. And but for someone to say that they cover, you're just full of shit. He didn't like that the community was starting to move away from him, and he wanted retaliation. It's as simple as it gets, and that's, in my opinion, what took place. And that's fine. Choose your fate. I would rather have you, me, and Tony, and maybe a couple other YouTubers that are real to the cause and that people trust than have, you know, five massive YouTubers that are just full of shit on everything they say and cause more dilution in the community than any good to it. Like, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. But
All right. I'm just curious. Going forward, what are your plans the next nights? Because I was thinking of trying to get together a big live stream for Tuesday night between earnings and looking over the election. I'm even thinking about doing like a long live stream from like maybe like 7 or 8 o'clock. But I want to try to bring on different guests. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have 5 guys on all at once all
Right,
night.
right,
I
right.
want to try and bring in one guest at a time. Maybe we can
Mm-hmm.
have 3 of us up the screen at the same time. We can be talking about different things, but between earnings and when we start seeing some of the election, like I was thinking of starting to do a live stream. And then the other thing was, and I was talking about this the other night, what I really like to do is after the elections are over and everyone has figured out who's won, where they're going, blah, blah, blah. I think that we need to make a serious, concerted campaign. And I know you think that this is not going to happen. But if there's going to be any chance for these PFOF, for the transparency, for the clearing date amounts of time, all of those things, if there's any chance that we're going to get these fixed, we have a very small window, I think, right
Mm-hmm.
now that's closing on us, right?
Yep.
So once these people are all, and the elections have all been settled and everyone's sitting in their seats, I think there needs to be a concerted effort. There's millions and millions of retail traders across the globe.
Yep.
There's millions and millions of retail traders in this country. I think we make a concerted effort to start to get this conversation going in Congress. And whether we need to put our own fucking congressman in there, someone from this community to get the ball rolling and to get a piece of legislation written up and get it onto the House floor, so be it. But we got to start somewhere. And I really feel like we might have a chance right now with a lame duck president right now who is about to lose the House and the Senate. And he also does not have the Supreme Court. If there can be arguments brought, especially to Congress, saying, "Look, guys, maybe you want to continue to keep trading stocks on the side with your husband and your family members. You know what? I don't really even give a shit about that. You want to make yourself millionaires? Give me the chance to do the same thing. Level the playing field for retail." So I can make the same kind of profits you and Paul and the rest of you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Because until then I'm coming for you because you're cheating. So if you're cheating and you're allowing these guys to cheat because they keep you in power, then we have a problem, right?
Yep. And that's the thing. I
So
just want to elaborate on that first part. Like, just because I don't think that politicians are going to change anything, that's a whole different curveball you're talking about, creating some organization like that. That's something that could work. So I don't want to get that misconstrued. Like, I don't think, our, like I said, our voices are loud. So if we can build something, and make something loud, then, something can happen, right? A big change can happen. I just don't think a change can happen with just voting. A politician says, "Oh, well, I'm going to fix payment for order flow," just voting them in. I don't
no,
think
no,
it's
no,
enough,
no,
right? But
no.
but going to what you just said, totally down, totally agree with that. I think it's genius. I really do. I mean, we haven't had anything like that in a very long time with this movement. We had a lot of noise and disruption. When we first bought it and this thing ran to $70 after that when they shut off the buy button. But since then, we haven't had that leadership um, or just that organization, right? To allocate the powers to challenge these politicians, right? To get noisy, right? Because everybody's been all these people that got massive, right, over COVID with this AMC stuff have kind of just really diluted themselves. So I definitely am totally down and think that's a magnificent idea of just doing the right thing. And I definitely think something like that would work. Um, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that and let you know that. So
I don't know if it's gonna take us finding a politician out of this movement or maybe a couple out of this movement that will go and who could be uncorruptible here's the problem, right? Once you get to DC, you get in the swamp. It seems like you are stuck there forever.
Right.
And I mean, look how many actual politicians stick their neck out on the line. Let's just go back to the jab, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were very few people who called out the unconstitutional practices that the executive orders for vaccine mandates for federal employees. There were very few people who stood up to that. Look, man, it takes courage and guts to come out here and do that. And look, I'm not saying that I want to be a politician, because this is the first time I've ever even thought about voting before in my entire life. So I'm not looking to take on that role, but there are people in this community who probably could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we need some influence. We need to be able to influence. And the only way we can do that is with our vote. So it may seem like it's too late now at this point. We're 4 days around from the election. But you know, when Jon Stewart sat down with Jackson there, the former SEC commissioner, and Gary Gensler. By the way, do you know why that was able to happen?
The Jon
Why
Stewart
Yeah.
with Gary Gensler?
Yeah.
No, I don't know the details getting into it. I'm sure it was a
So
fight though, right?
do you know that Jon Stewart's real name is Jonathan Stewart Leibowitz?
I did not.
Do you know who his brother is?
No. Do I need to put on a 10? Am I going to
Which
be
brother?
fucking mind blown? Do I need to grab a beer for
Maybe
this,
a
or am I
little
going to
bit.
handle this?
It will definitely explain.
All right,
It will
let me
definitely
go. Let me
explain
go grab a
Gensler
beer real
was
quick.
on.
Let me
Sure,
grab
go
a
for
beer
it.
for this. I'll be right back.
For it. Jeffrey Rocha, what's up, man? How you doing? How are you, man? I'm good. I'm good. Who's going to grab a Twinkie? Barry Electronics says one of the Dems going to ban hammers. As soon as they ban naked men in Pelosi's house, I think first they got to do that. Don't worry about the hammers. If we can just get the naked BLM nudist drug addicts banned first, then we can go after the hammers. Let's start with the swinger of the hammer first. Relentless says, Mass, I'm so glad to finally catch one of your lives. Yeah, girl, it's been a while, right? Yeah, me too. Me too. Glad you're here. 1796, Patriot said, nailed it. Yeah, right? Again, how did he open the front door? Wait. So let's game plan this, right? Let's quarterback this thing. So someone breaks into your house. Let's just say I'm breaking into Scavenger's house. He's upstairs on the 3rd floor. He hears a break-in. Now, he calls the police, right, from inside his bathroom, and he says, yeah, go ahead, Mass. You can use the bathroom. I go in. I call the police. Now, knowing Scavenger is there to break my knees or my wife's knees, do I come back out of that bathroom? Probably not. I think I would just stay locked in there, right, with my phone. Maybe try to climb out the window. Who knows? Maybe I find a weapon to arm myself with, and I open the door and fly at him and attack him. But then the story turned into that he came to the door, answered the door to police, and said everything is fine here. So how do we get from in the bathroom making an emergency call to the police showing up at the front door? Somehow he makes it past the guy who wants to break his kneecaps to the front door, says everything is fine here, walks back from away from the police towards the assailant instead of running by into the police and saying, there he is, get him, and walks back to the assailant and ends up getting struck over the head with a hammer. I don't know what part of that story makes sense. Mostly none of it. I would say zero of it makes sense. And then for NBC to go and conspicuously erase that whole report that said that there was the doors answered and all that. Look, I don't really care what's going on in Paul Pelosi's private life. It's really none of my business. But when you're the husband of the third most powerful woman on the planet, obviously your life is going to come into the spotlight. So all we're looking for is transparency.
Mass.
You do?
We know what
you do?
I think Paul Pelosi got hammered because he was swinging his hammer on that one dude.
Okay. Swinging a different kind of hammer?
A different kind of hammer. He swung his hammer and the guy swung his hammer.
Gotcha. So you think he was jackhammering his assailant?
You know what? It was before November, so we just have to keep that in mind.
This is true. Yuka says, Mash, he planned everything.
Wouldn't be surprised. You know, it is interesting when you think about it. Like, was their intention to label the attacker as a MAGA terrorist, or before the new? You know, who knows?
Mega.
Yeah,
Mega MAGA.
Yeah.
Ellie, what's up, hon? Mega MAGA. Yeah, not just regular MAGA. Living in a bus in a nudist camp. Pretty wild, right?
It's crazy. It's funny too how like all this. It's always before elections. Some weird stuff starts happening. You know, midterms more specifically, but just weird stuff like these politicians. I always try to remind myself I'm not like a kind of guy who goes to church on Sunday and stuff, but I'm religious. Like I believe in God and stuff, and you know, these frickin' politicians, like I often sit down and I'm thinking about like Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi just because I've hated Nancy Pelosi my whole life. And like I just knowing that nobody cares about you in this world, like I can't imagine, like, yeah, they have all the money they could ever want, but knowing that everybody in the world hates them, like I couldn't imagine waking up and going through the day knowing that, you know, how I don't even know how that would feel, you know, because it's just that's craziness. Like nobody likes them. Like they're horrible people. They do horrible things. They insider trade, and it's just interesting to me. But hate is a strong word. Yeah.
They are horrible people. Danny Young, what's up, girl? All right, I'm gonna put this up real quick, right? So before you went to go get a beer, Larry Leibowitz was a member of the New York Stock Exchange Next management. He has previously group executive vice president, head of U.S. markets and global technology for the New York Stock Exchange Euronext. Before joining chief operating officer at UBS American Equities, he joined UBS as managing director in 2004 when the firm was acquired by Schwab Capital Markets, responsible for many strategic plannings, business analysis, and Schwab. Before joining Schwab, Leibowitz, co-founder of Bunker Capital hedge fund, emerging director and head of program quantitative trading at Credit Suisse for Boston. In addition to sharing the NASDAQ Quality of Market Committee and serving on the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association Market Structure Committee, Leibowitz has been a speaker at numerous industry forums related to market. Leibowitz is the older brother of comedian Jon Stewart of The Daily Show. So, if anyone was curious on how it's possible that this guy is able to get Gary Gensler on twice in the matter of 8 months for interviews. Have our answer, right? His big brother had a serious into the NYSE, and it makes complete sense now, right? Why he would
Schwab
have
was
had that in.
involved, right? Right.
What's that? Yeah, I mean,
Charles
Larry
Schwab,
Lieberman said, "Hey, go on with John Stewart. It's my brother. He'll throw you some softballs. He's not going to take you out there. But we have a good relationship. Yada yada. Makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
That's why John Stewart. Because I was like, why is he won't go in any other program? He won't go talk to Charles Payne for 5 minutes, but he's given John Stewart 2 interviews in the last 8 months.
Right.
Why?
Right.
And then
or he
you do a
won't
little
go
background check in.
He'll jump on CNBC, but he won't go to any other news.
Right.
He won't go talk to
Right.
Tucker Carlson or anybody else. Like
Right.
it's
Right.
shenanigans. You know what?
Yep.
What made me sick was the hearings. And as these hearings are going on, what were those that just went by? They're literally talking about, it was when all the big banks were sitting there. You had JP Morgan, Chase.
Oh, the House Finance Committee?
Yeah, and then you have like, joking around, like she's coming to work for you. She's leaving. Like when I seen that, I'm going, you're there. What is this going on right now? Like you literally have our Congress people going to these banks and working there for them. Why would you want to ever fine or ever do ever go after a bank lawfully when they have a job waiting for you after you're done in Congress? Like it just goes so much, and this goes to say it just goes so much deeper than I even want to think about. It's just so deep. It's so deep. It's not November and it's that deep. Unreal.
This video that I'm going to drop tomorrow is going to go a little more into depth in all this matter that I've kind of been talking about tonight. So I don't want to go too deep into it tonight, but it's kind of dealing with exactly what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. Well, switch out then. Different topic.
Yeah. I just want to say hey to some people. Dana jumped in the chat. Dana, what's up, love? I saw Ellie was in the chat. Tony Gennaro came back with a hammer. Granny Banger, good evening, 1796 Patriot. Did I get Prometheus in there as one of my mods? Yes, I did. Let's see. Who else did I miss anybody? Back up here. Yuka, Granny Banger. No, I think I got everybody. Ellie, I got Gus. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. All right. Yeah, we can move on from that real quick.
I just don't want to blow too much if you have a video coming out on it, just
yeah. It's gonna we don't have to go too far into it. We have plenty of time. Like I said, I'm hoping for something exciting in the next couple of months, but I really have just it's set in the back of my head right now that the best chance of us seeing a significant price jump and possible short squeeze is going to be sometime around mid-summer, early summer. That's just my prediction. So I've kind of I'm going to keep my eye on the stock every day. I'm going to continue to support AMC theaters till I have till the day I die, pretty much. And I'll continue to support the movement and all of us who have worked so hard and who have taken these losses after we held. And maybe there was a little greed involved when we held, but that was the war cry, right? So I can't sit there and say, I can't sit there now looking back at it and say, oh, I made a mistake. No, because John, you said to people you were going to stay and hold. That this wasn't it. You were going to stay and hold. You can't go back on your word now, right? So it's bygones be bygones. Now we got to move to the next step. And I think that's the hard thing for some people to get over is they're sick of waiting for these next steps. And I get it. I get it.
Let me tell
I'm
you
sick of
this,
it too.
Mass. I'm
Go
probably
ahead.
gonna sound so stupid for saying this in your eyes. I hope not, but if AMC ran to $72 on Monday, I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't sell
Oh
one
no, if it
fucking
just
share.
ran right to 72 on Monday,
If it,
no, I wouldn't
if
sell
it,
either.
yeah, if it ran to like I have my price brackets, like they're high. Only, but it, like I always try to say, like the news changes every day, right? My thoughts on everything change on it every day because we're getting new information and learning something new every day, right? I always say the DD's done, and when I say that, there's always more due diligence to do. But um, what I mean when I say that is I don't need any more due diligence to convince me why I'm going to hold, right? That doesn't mean there's not more information we can find out, but I don't need any more information to convince me to hold any longer. Like my numbers are, and we have to see how things go because we have to remember the days to cover on AMC are well over 3 days now. This squeeze when it begins is going to take much longer than just a day's run up, right? It could take weeks for them to sort this out. And, you know, for me, I'm not going to get involved with any of that buy high, sell low stuff or buy low, sell high stuff. Like, I just don't think that's going to work. Like, when this begins, I've created mental price targets, right? I've written them down too of what my plan's going to be when this thing starts because we have to remember this is going to happen so quickly. Even if it takes 3 or 4 days, when money's involved, it goes by fast, right? You need to have a plan in place. Like, even after you sell it and it's in your brokerage account, like, okay, what are you going to do when you have $1 million sitting in your brokerage account? Are you going to throw it into new investments? Are you going to pull it out and buy a house cash? Like, what are you going to do? Like, this is all stuff that, you know, nobody wants to plan too early, but it's better to be planned out for something that may not happen rather than it happens and you have no fucking clue what you're going to do. Because when you have that life changing amount of money come into your life, it's easy to make stupid decisions. And, you're going to have people out there buying Lamborghinis and doing all this shit. And that might fit their lifestyle, but like, there's a reason like these lottery winners and stuff go broke because they just get all this money and didn't have a plan and just start mowing through it. So like it's important just to have a plan and play. And I don't want to be like a dreamer, right? But like be prepared for something, even if it may never happen, which I truly think it's gonna. But I'm just saying, like, have a plan in place. It takes 15 minutes to plan something out. Like, you should always have a plan if you're able to. We have the time right now to plan it out. You won't regret it. You know what I mean? Like, don't be the person that gets all this money and has no idea what to do, or that doesn't have a price target in their head and then they're just blindly in this. It's hard to make wise decisions when money's involved. It really is. When you have that high of money involved, right? If it's $1,000, $2,000, that's an easy decision. But when you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's tough to keep keep your mind straight, right? So it's doesn't take long to have a pre-plan going, is my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah, having a pre-plan is a big it's a big part of this. And knowing what you hold in your hand is important. And don't be like these guys. Don't end up like the island boys, right? You don't want to be the island boys. All of a sudden now, you got $1 million chains and $11 in the bank. Or you got, a $200,000 Bentley, but you can't even fill the tank. And we haven't got to that point yet, except on Lou's channel. He's been celebrating. I don't know what they've been celebrating for the last 6 months. I still don't know what they've been cracking wine and celebrating in the Dominican Republic for. But
Oh God.
Something's happening good over there. I don't know. Someday I'm gonna find out. One day, I'm gonna sneak up on him
One
during
day.
a live stream in New York and just say, I just want to see when was your last GTI I purchased. It's all I want to see, and I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm gonna walk away. But I gotta get him to the live stream so he can't get out of it.
Being
I
from New
gotta find
York,
out.
there was this one
Mhm.
live that he did, and he pointed it at his apartment building, and he's like, "Listen, motherfuckers, this right here, you could be like this too if you fucking pull your head out of your ass or whatever." And I'm sitting there like, dude, nobody wants to live in fucking downtown New York. Like, when
Oh,
growing
that
up,
was
I was
downtown Santa Domingo. That was in that I know that video you're talking about.
that
That
was in
was
New
in
York.
the Dominican Republic. No, that was
Oh
Dominican
no.
Republic.
Either way,
Yeah,
it
no.
was like I just was like, dude, like you're literally over here. And then he always like, "Oh, I love you, motherfuckers." Like I really love. It's like, dude, what? Something's wrong with that guy. Like something is, and I really do feel bad because like mental health is something very serious that I take. Like I take it very serious. I've gone through some really fucked up things in my past, and some people know about it and some people don't. But we're not gonna get all depressed tonight. But like the way he treats people and the things he says to people, like that's just a shitty human being. Rather you wanna laugh about it, make jokes about it all you want. Like it's one thing to make a joke, but like when you're calling people retarded and stuff, like that's fucked up. Like
Lou's
that
never
that
done that.
huh?
Lou's never done that.
Oh
Lou's
no.
never done that.
No. Yeah. But it's just like he's just a like that shit gets under my skin, man. I don't know why. It just does. Like you never know what somebody's going through. And when you say like it could just be saying something like that to someone that's watching your live or somebody you walked by on the streets, right? That heard you and they acted like they didn't hear you, but they did, and you've just ruined that person's life. Like they were on the edge, and your one asshole remark just set them to the end. And I just don't. I'm not a fan of him at all, and that you already know that. But
Yeah. Do you
he's.
know his backstory?
I do. I know everything
Okay.
about him,
Okay.
all the way
All right.
down,
Okay.
all the way down.
So
So,
you know exactly what's been going on.
oh yeah, oh
And
yeah.
and to me, the thing has always been up to this point, he was never really punished for what he did originally, the
No,
first scam. And so that's why this one has become so much easier to do because he was able to skate on the last one. He was
mhm.
able to raise that restitution money within 6 months,
Off
paid
YouTube, yeah,
off. Yeah, slap on the wrist. Yep.
yep,
And he's allowed to travel back and forth. Remember, this is
yep,
a multimillionaire guru Wall Street,
yeah.
allowed to travel back and forth to Dominican Republic for the best healthcare on the planet. I'm sure it's got the best facilities. I'm sure
Yeah,
DR has got the best. But I mean, you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
He went about this the way that he did, and we'll see what happens. Maybe GTI is going to hit 500 to 800 next week. I have
Yeah.
no idea, but
Well, and like with him, like he's not a millionaire. I can tell you that because he had a lot of legal fees and stuff that he went through. But YouTube, when he was talking about AMC, he was getting 15 to 25,000 views per video. He was making $280 a video times 5 a day. Like he
oh,
was
bro,
he was making bank with freaking YouTube. So yeah,
bank,
but
bank.
that's all he has. Like that's all he has. Like that is going to come to an end and he's going to be screwed and like karma's going to come back and stuff. But like he was making a killing on like
Let's say he left the federal courthouse that day, and instead of getting on YouTube and talking about AMC, he went to Peter Luger's and got a dishwashing job. Do you think he would have learned his lesson paying off that $70,000 by doing that, or by getting on YouTube, walking around Central Park with ducks and squirrels and imaginary gurus in his earpieces, relaying him information about what's going on with the stock? Do you
see
think that would have helped or not made a difference?
I don't know, because like everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. Like he says he has all like this information on the street and stuff, and like he doesn't. He sold fake fucking ads. Like I don't know where the street stuff came from. So I guess in response to that, like I just don't think he like I, I don't know. I don't think it would have made a difference. I think he's just been a loser all his fucking life. And YouTube, I don't he probably didn't expect YouTube to blow up, you know, but it
Right.
did for him. And I don't know, YouTube, I'm sure, changed his life.
Oh, big time.
You see where he started. He had a shitty old phone with horrible video quality, and then as the YouTube progressed, you just seen that, it got big. And if let's be honest, if you got a multi-million, listen, I'm just going to be straightforward. If I had millions and millions of dollars and I was a multimillionaire, I don't do YouTube for the money, so don't think that. But if I had millions upon millions of dollars, I wouldn't have time to be on YouTube because I'd be doing other shit, you know? Like,
Yeah, great point. Great point, Scott. Great point.
I
Great
mean,
point,
that's
Scott.
the thing. So you have like him out here trying to convince everybody that he's just rich as fuck and stuff. Well, that's interesting because seems like all you do with your life is walk down the street from your apartment, get a fucking coffee, and put out 4 videos a day. Like, if I were a multimillionaire, I'd be on vacation and shit all the time, you know? And
Well,
I've done,
if you have if you don't have a passport, that's tough to do.
right. Well, right. But I
That's a
just,
tough one, right?
hey, you just got to go get the passport. But yeah, but I just I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I do very well. Like I have a very good paying job, and I'd like to think I live a job where I can go on vacations whenever I want. Not whenever I want, but like being a realist, right? That 1, 2
Mhm.
vacations a year, and I get to drive a brand new vehicle, all that, have my own place, but like I still don't have that freedom because I have to work, right? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
day trade, but there comes a point where you have to make a decision like, when are you rich? You know, rich for me isn't a value. It's being able to not have to wake up in the morning to make money. That's rich. If I don't have to wake up in the morning worrying about if I have to make money or not, that's fucking rich in my opinion. That's when I'm
Yep.
rich. I don't have to have $10 million. I'm rich when I don't have to wake up in the morning and worry about money. That's rich
Yeah.
for me, you
That would
know.
be my rich day. By the
Yeah.
way, I gotta say real quick, Dana, you flew to Hartford, Connecticut from Tennessee, drove to New Hampshire, listening all the way, and didn't stop and say what's up. I am pissed. You drove right past me, Dana. Um, Barry Electronics says sucks to be rich with no friends. Yeah, man, it's kind of sad, right? I mean, I know he lost a lot because of what he did. His family left him and stuff, but this was his chance for redemption, and it seems like he's blowing it again. He could have really made a chance to, make up for what he did and come out here and try to really help people, and instead he's just doing it for YouTube ad revenue, and that's sad. But we're not all built. We don't all have that moral compass, right? So, and I don't want to talk about him anymore. All right, listen, Scab, we're coming up on the 3 hour mark
Yeah.
for tonight. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I want to get one or two things before I let you go.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about Tuesday? Well, two things. First of all, how are you expecting earnings to go? Are you excited? Are you kind of just understanding we're not going to have the best earnings, or what? What do you think?
Well, I don't think this is going to be the most bullish earnings. So here's my theory on it. I think there's going to be more to the earnings than just revenue, right? I think the revenue is going to be a little bit lower, obviously, because Q3, Adam Aaron stated in Q2, right, earnings that Q3 was going to be a slow month. All the movies are coming in Q4 from Q4 to all of 2023. We got movies galore. Money's going to be pouring in. But as far as Q3 goes, it's going to be interesting to see what we did, because we have to remember, like, part of me is like, yeah, we didn't have a lot of new movie releases, but we had Adam Aaron giving out like the cheap ticket sales that one the few days, and like all, so it's going to be interesting, to see how that happens. I think they're going to be neutral. I obviously think we're going to be attacked by Wall Street, of course, by news, but I'm hoping that what I'm hoping to be bullish on is that Adam Aaron gives us a very clean Q4. Because, during our revenues, you always hear Adam Aaron say, the fight's not over yet, right? We always hear him say that the fight's not over yet, but it's looking a lot more clear. We're navigating through. So I'm hoping for Q4. I want to hear Adam Aaron bullish on Q4. And I'm also hoping for some sort of, everybody's kind of getting in the mindset of having like a merger acquisition. I don't even need that. I'm hoping for some sort of deal, maybe that AMC signs with Disney to show their new movies in theaters for something like along those lines. That would be freaking awesome. But I do think there's something big in store. It seems like Adam Aaron's been a little calm before the storm, in my opinion. It's been real quiet. So we'll have to see. I like to just go into it neutral, not really expecting either way, because I don't want to be let down. I'd rather, be excited over something, but I don't want to overreact when it doesn't go my way, right? So
There you go.
I think it's interesting that AMC has their earnings on the same day as midterms. I think that's very
Yep.
interesting. I think it's interesting that AMC and Disney have their earnings on the same day. There's a lot of things lining up here that are very interesting to me, um, that I don't think are a coincidence, but we will see. I think we're seeing companies like Disney and Netflix they're starting to realize like they need these theaters to bring in the revenue that they need. So um it's going to be interesting. It's honestly, just this week in general is going to be a really chaotic week. Um, we have midterms, we have earnings as of, last week, Friday. The market's been they've been trying to keep the market propped up, but obviously we know there's a liquidity crisis going on right now. So, historically the market's bullish after midterms, but this time I feel like it's going to tank after midterms. We just have a really exciting week. We really do. I'm really excited. I kind of have that gut feeling when you're going down like a roller coaster or whatever. It's just like it's going to be a really stressful and exciting week at the same time. So I'm bullish on AMC, though. I think even if the earnings aren't what people expect, I think Adam Aaron's going to have a really bullish outlook on Q4. So that's kind of, I mean, everybody, I don't think there's going to be an overreaction, because everybody that's invested in AMC already knows that Q3 potentially could be a little slow. So we'll see what happens. I guess the big number is going to be how much cash should they burn in Q3. So
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
but
All right, I appreciate that take, bro. I just want to say real quick, Gus Chenoweth says, so I'm thinking of putting 5K on Ape Monday. Do you guys think Ape is a good buy right now at 150, or do you think it will come down more? Gus, here's what I would say to that, and this is just my opinion. I would try diversify that maybe a little bit if you got 5K in some other areas where you could possibly strike a little hotter. We don't really know. Maybe we'd want to wait until after earnings. Again, it could come down a little bit after earnings, or depending on what is said, it could go up. And this is why speculation and people trying to pinpoint and tell you things is very difficult, because we just don't fucking know, especially with AMC and the short squeeze, long squeeze, however you want to describe it.
right.
So do I think it will come down more? I mean, I think we're at rock bottom right now. We're in this price range. So I don't know how much more it will come down depending on earnings. But I think you're in a pretty good spot right now. I wouldn't, this price of 150 does not worry me that much, but it could come down a little more. And if you're patient and want to wait and are not afraid of it skyrocketing after earnings, based off what Scav just said, what I've said, what Tony has said, what many of us have said over the last couple of weeks about Q3, and this bad box office that we just went to, right? The worst in a long time. So don't take that as financial advice, but just patience is the key. If you feel like you can hold out and it's not gonna all of a sudden rip to $3 on Wednesday morning right after the earnings report, wait and see if it comes down $1.25 or $1.20.
Real quick too, Mass. I
Got-
think there's a chance during earnings that Adam Aaron could come out and state that he's began diluting ape. I wanted to add
There
that
you
in
go.
there. I think that's a possibility.
There you go.
too.
Great point.
So,
Great point. And that
which is
is not
bullish
going
for
to bode
AMC.
well. Yeah, which is bullish for AMC. Yes.
So
Right.
that's just you can, for that comment, at $1.50, or there's always that hope with anything you buy in the stock market, right? You hope that it's going to come down to get in cheaper, but then it goes the opposite direction and you never get back in at those prices again. So I think it's just important to make that decision for yourself. Here's the thing: the fact that Gus, no hate here, honestly, but the fact you have to ask that question tells me that you probably already have a decision made. And honestly, that decision you have made, I just go with your gut on however you feel, and don't really care about anyone else's opinion on it. Because even, let's say, if ape drops down to $1.30, does that 20 cents really make or break that position size? I don't know. So I would just,
Exactly.
I don't know what you think, Mass,
your day.
but he's got a decision, I think. But
yeah, I agree with you. That 10 cents is not going to make or break your day. Is a great point. Yep.
Yeah.
Very good point. All right, we're on the 3-hour mark right now, so I guess we will sign it off.
Yeah.
Like I said, Tuesday night will be the next time. I know for sure I will. Sammy boy, what's up? You just missed it. Man, you guys just got at the very end here. Tuesday night, I will try to stream. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of YouTubers who will be live streaming the actual earnings call itself. So what I might, and then maybe around 7 or 8 o'clock when some of the polling, I'll go live and we can break in, and hopefully I can line up a couple guests and see what people are talking about, right? We'll see what people's opinions are.
If I get the invite, I'll be there, Max.
Are we right on point with the predictions were? Yeah, bro. Well, now I have I have your email address, right? So yeah, we're good now. Yeah. I remember a while back, Scavenger, I reached out to you saying in the comment section, like, hey man, if you ever want to come on and either not even debate, but just throw some ideas back and forth about bullish versus bearish scenarios. But I don't know if you ever got it. But at least now we connected, so that's good, right?
I'm excited. Yeah, I had a blast tonight, and I hope I didn't overstep or anything like some of the people you've had on here. But I definitely
bro, it was all good.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely privileged that I got the invite on here, and thank you so much. And
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey,
yeah,
no
for
problem.
Sure. I appreciate you coming on. I just want to real quick say to everyone who donated tonight, thank you so much, guys, for keeping the lights on here and all the stuff that we need to run this place. Prometheus, a couple, but I know those two were at the top of my list. And I also want to say to the creators who stopped by tonight, besides Mr. Scavenger himself, consensus investor, Tony De Niro, and Pantheon, guys, thank you for coming by and supporting us. And love all you guys. Appreciate all you guys. If you really want to do you want to shout out your channel real quick, Scavenger, just so everyone knows?
No, it's just Scavenger. You guys can join in, but I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know about it in here. But I'll be back on here if Mass invites me. So just keep my name known. He's got a lot of people that come on here. So But I just appreciate everyone coming in tonight, guys. And as you know, it's my first time being on here with Mass, and I've been watching Massalorian and Tony De Niro for a while. They do their streams together, but both good guys. Mass is definitely a real one. So you guys are definitely at a good place here. So definitely privileged again. I'll say, for having the invite to be on here with you tonight, and definitely humbled, and I appreciate it very much. So.
Yes, Cap. Thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate you coming on. And we will talk to you guys in the next 24 hours or so. And I hope everyone has a great Sunday tomorrow. Enjoy your day of football. Go Pats. And I need Cincinnati to win tomorrow. Cincinnati Bungles have to win to keep me alive in the survivor pool. I'm down to the final 18 people. From 260 something. So I need the Bengals tomorrow in elimination pool. So if you guys can pull for the Bengals for me, that'd be a huge, huge help. All right.
We gotcha.
All right, man. Everyone have a great night. Thank you so much, Retail. Love all you guys. Have a good evening. Good night.